San Antonio's sports star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The owners did approve changes to the kickoff. Touchbacks will now go to the 35-yard line. There will be authorizing replay assist, and overtime rules will change where both teams will always get the ball. The NFL also announced a Christmas Day triple header going up against the NBA. There'll be 2 games on Netflix, and it'll be followed by a nightcap on Amazon. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody.
Why the heck did you do that? He ain't here.
Good morning, everybody. Where is he?
Well, we'll not talk about. I've done a lot of things in my radio life. I've never had a co-host miss the beginning of a show for the reason he's missing the beginning of a show.
Yep.
I've had him run out. I've run out. Note, I want this shot right here to stay.
Okay.
Notice it's empty.
Yeah.
Notice half the shot is empty. Hey, morning, it's the Morning Huddle. I'm Rob Thompson. My co-host is indisposed right, and has been for 20 minutes. I'm a little concerned. We might need to go. I mean, he's been gone a long time. You didn't have. I think he went home. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Did
He went Costanza and had to go home.
Oh, yeah.
Been gone for 20. You okay?
I thought he went and got tacos.
Dude.
Hey,
We couldn't.
What?
We couldn't delay 1 minute.
no, well,
Well, we're at 2 minutes now. No, I held out as long as I could,
Yeah.
man.
it's all right because I had you covered.
Hey,
Good morning,
There we go.
everybody.
oh boy, guys.
What happened?
I don't even want to get into the gory details because
no.
that took way too long.
I know. Was it all that coffee you just drank?
Was
Yeah.
it the Stoke?
And
Are
it's
you
only,
stoked?
I'm only about halfway through it, so
Good.
that might not be the last time.
You're in a cleanse.
Yeah, I feel weak.
no.
I've also made another grave error. Yesterday it was so hot in here that and I didn't know the AC was going to be fixed today. You never know.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
It's a
That's why
crapshoot.
Him in shorts.
Yeah, I wore a T-shirt today, which is quite frankly, it's against the rules.
It is against the rules. I
Now,
hope the suits don't notice.
I'm sure they will.
And never has that a term ever applied more appropriately
Than ours?
Than right now.
He wears a suit
We have a
every
suit.
day.
I truly do have a suit.
And
But
they're all different every time.
Yeah,
well,
he's
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a
He's
impeccably
got a
dressed man.
wardrobe.
I'll give him his credit, but he's a suit.
But he doesn't like. He likes us to wear collared shirts. Collared shirts in the studio. We want to represent ourselves as upstanding citizens, even though I'm
And
obviously
we got to hide
not.
the neck tats.
Right. But now my T-shirt here has buttons, which makes it a fancy T-shirt. But
I would give it a pass, but
there's
that's-
no collar. There's certainly no collar.
I've never understood that. But that's
It
it is
odd.
what it is.
That said, I was like, well, I want to at least be kind of prepared if it's blazing hot in here. Well, instead, it's the opposite.
It's 70.
They've flipped now it's 70 degrees in here.
I don't think
The
that's
thermostat
right.
set at 70, and now we're being treated like children, and it's locked. So if we're like, oh man, it's cold in here, let me turn it up. No, friend, you don't turn it up. That ain't your job.
Well, that's how it broke before.
I think that's why they're.
It was set on 70 before.
See, for those that are unaware, our air conditioning system is straight from 1957. 47.
Yeah.
And this is no joke.
WW2.
Anymore. This is, our business.
Thermonuclear fission is what we run this
Seriously,
thing on.
and our business is now entirely digital. There are no clunky old bulbs and things that were back in the 50s, where if
Right.
they got wet, you just let it dry out and it went back to work. We can't afford that now. But everything now is completely digital. And our air conditioning is based on compressed cold water pipes above
That is right.
the electronics.
Which means that occasionally those pipes burst
where we have floods
Yeah,
in the building
over electronic.
over the electronics.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's a very interesting design we have.
Quite frankly, we have the worst heating cooling system imaginable.
We've
because
kept several.
It's never comfortable in this building. You're one or the other. You're either dying of heat stroke
AJ,
or you are freezing.
Vic, it's just the most. I've never been in a building. It's like we were built over an Indian graveyard, a Native American graveyard. And their curse to the modern person that built over the graveyard was your air conditioning will never
That's
work
what it was.
correctly.
That's what it was.
It'll be just minor inconveniences most of the time, interrupted with 6-inch floods.
And
half your
kudos to
building.
them. They were right.
Yeah,
the buried Indians were right. And
No AC for
yeah,
no.
we get what we get, friends.
That's the only answer, because this has gone out now for as long as I've been in the building. And Vic, you've been here twice as long as me.
Yeah, since 01. And it's the same. It's been like this all the time.
Just another part of the day is
Well, it's a crapshoot.
you walk out of the
You never
studio
know.
and you're in the ass crack of some AC dude up on a ladder,
Yeah.
standing in a pool of water and some disintegrated drywall.
I mean, I guess I'm thankful that we've got AC today.
No, I'm not angry. I mean, it could be worse. I could be in an orange vest spinning a stop sign, which is about all I'm qualified to do right now.
Yeah. Well, listen, you
Slow.
I could be mowing the lawn right
I
now.
could flip that to stop, and I keep you here all
No.
day.
Mm-mm.
Little power's a dangerous
Hey,
thing.
those weed eaters are heavy.
You think? No, I ain't doing that.
gas powered ones.
Yeah.
Shoot,
I am
boy.
only qualified to be the dude that has the
Shoot.
stop sign on the one-lane road, trying to coordinate with the other idiot a half mile
Oh,
away
yeah.
who should be going, who should be
Yeah.
stopping, because one mistake, we're going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
You could go back to boat driving if you really wanted.
I have a couple of. It's either boat driving or I always, the
You still have a license?
my
a
real
boat
aspiration.
license?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Did you ever
I'm
have one?
officially licensed by
You're
the
not.
state of
You
Texas.
don't really
to
have
drive
one, do
boats.
you?
I am licensed to do everything I'm required to be licensed for.
Which means you don't. It doesn't require a license.
I have a series of licenses, AJ.
You've got a hunting license.
I have a license to kill gophers. I'm an inspector of breasts.
Okay.
It's a TI. I'm a TI.
Uh-huh.
I have that
right.
license. I'm licensed to. I'm a certified travel agent.
Okay.
It's a CT something. I did have to get a certification to prove that what I spoke of was in fact.
Right around the time that travel agents became
Well,
like.
the travel agent was not the term at all. Had nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay.
I had
okay.
to become a certified tourism
Administrator,
something
or-
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
CTA or something. So I was certified for that.
Okay,
So I mean,
but not to actually
and
drive
I also,
the boat.
And I could save your life if you fell over the side of the boat.
Oh,
and
were you
didn't know to
qualified for
stand
that?
up. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I had to have a life. I mean,
You
taking
got to
people over
basically
water.
be a lifeguard.
Well, you have to be prepared. We had life vests, but yeah,
But
I
you
mean, the
didn't-
water in the river, 80% of it is no more than about 4 feet deep.
But you didn't have a captain's license.
There's no such thing, AJ. I mean, you think the state of Texas, if they could figure out a way to make me get a license, I'm sure they could.
Rob, I worked on a ship and we had to have a license.
that's
the
the
captain
ocean.
had to have a license.
That's the ocean. I'm talking about the San Antonio River.
Okay.
And it was established through a case that I and my company, my fam company, brought that went to the state Supreme Court regarding who had control over the San Antonio River.
And
Really?
Well,
you won control.
well, there is a definition. No, we did not.
What?
We lost.
Oh.
Now, you want to consider this. In the state of Texas, a little law lesson, write this down. This allows you to do some things, you fishermen. If you're on a river, and a river is defined as a moving bit of water that either travels from our state to another state, from the headwaters to another river that then flows either to another state or into the ocean. At that point, it's a river. If it doesn't do either of those, it becomes a creek. And creeks can be thick, long bits of
Right.
water. They just have to leave the state or at some point hit another river that is either leaving the state or going to the ocean. If they're defined as a river, it's your water. The state owns the bed, the land, and the banks, but the water is ours. So if you're on a boat and it's going through somebody's land, you are perfectly legal to be there.
Okay.
We define
Wow.
that as, well, why can't a riverboat do the same? Who can say as a San Antonian Who gets to say who gets to go on the San Antonio
Yeah, if you
River?
want to if you wanted to ride a canoe on the San Antonio River.
Who can take you off? It's my water. Well, what people don't remember, and we tried to fight, was part of the San Antonio River is, in fact, improved. It never existed up until the mid-30s. After a big flood, the river of San Antonio was straightened out. And there's a part of the river we call it the channel. The original river is, in fact, that horseshoe with all the restaurants. That's the river. That's how it's always flowed from the beginning of time. We dredged a channel to make the river straight to do some flood control work. The city said, since we dredged this channel, we own the whole river. We own the bed, the banks, and when the water hits this dam and to this dam, it's our water and it's our. We said, no, it's the water. It started, it's a river. We proved that it goes all the way to Corpus Christi. And we took it to the state Supreme Court, and we lost. And the reason being was the state of Texas did not want to lose control of the Houston Ship Channel. They did want to be able to tax and to license those that required. And if they ceded control to the San Antonio River to the San Antonians, then they would lose control of the Houston Ship Channel, which was the argument. And by that argument, we lost. And then the city was given the right to choose one riverboat company to service because they treated it like the San Antonio, like streets. We have the right to control who gets a taxi cab license. We have the right to control who gets a riverboat license.
Well, that's a great thing about government is they hate freedom.
Well, I mean, let's be real. There probably is room for only one, maybe two down there. It's a pretty small river.
Yeah, but now I can't go throw a tube in that river and float it.
They've kind of loosened things up periodically. I can tell you to get this contract, I snuck a boat down on the river. We snuck a riverboat down one morning and offered riverboat tours. It's out of nowhere. And got my boat impounded and got arrested.
Oh no! You got
my brother
locked up in the pokey?
My brother and myself and my nephew, who had no idea what he was getting into. We snuck a boat. We designed and built a river barge. It was an electric, battery-powered river barge back in 1997.
Suck on that, Elon.
It worked, dude. Now, if you sat on the batteries for more about 30 minutes, your ass would be on fire.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it didn't work for long, but it worked long enough for us to put a boat down on the river. We had to so that we could bring suit. So we snuck the boat on the river. To this day, it's a mystery as to how, because it involved a fair amount of machinery. We're talking about a real river barge that we snuck down. And we had a big press release, and we started rolling down the river. In hindsight, I became a boat captain many years later. We were doing it so wrong, and it was so dangerous what we did, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And we were down there at about 4 a.m.
So you're saying the government was right all along?
Oh, they shouldn't have. But the thing is, the only way we could bring suit was to be barred from doing it. So we had to try to do it to be stopped.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Okay.
we had to sneak the boat down, and those park rangers had never had more fun. They came rappelling out of trees. They came speeding up on their little river boats, pulled us over to the side, detained us, and took our boat.
So why is it legal then, like in New Braunfels?
This is a different municipality, but go ahead.
But it's a river.
Mm-hmm. They can't control who goes through unless it's a safety issue.
But why can they tell me I can't drink beer on that river?
They can tell you. Well, they can't tell you. Well, there's a safety issue with the glass, so they can do that, and there's also they can regulate it out of existence. But if you're just going to get on a boat, for the most part, they can't stop you. If you're going to get on the river someplace else, then they can keep you off the land to the river. Like they can say you can't. Once you're on the water, you're safe, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they can They can do everything on the bed and banks. They can attack. But once you're on the water, and if you get on the water further up, you can get on a canoe and take it to the ocean, and they can't stop you.
Right.
So that's how they can control it, how you got to the river.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's. Yeah, I guess so. You're not supposed to take alcohol
and
on the shore that
they can
gets you
literally
into the
come
river.
on the water and get you. That's a state thing, and you can't. I mean, just like on a lake, cops can come and check your license and your alcohol. You're not free reign, but you can.
It's garbage, man.
But they can't keep you off. Is my point.
Why can't I just float and drink beer?
Well, I mean, for the most
Like
part,
God intended.
I'll tell you, in Texas, you can do a whole lot more than you can in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can't do everything.
That's why I like the Frio. Even when I like growing up in Houston, we would rather go to the Frio than to the Comal or the Guadalupe because
Freedom.
There's no rules.
Well, I mean,
there's rules,
well,
but there's less rules.
And I would say those that would argue for the point of keeping that area pristine and clean. 98% of the Texas rivers, Nobody cares.
Oh, listen,
You know what I mean?
You float the Brazos River, you might drudge a dead body along with you.
Well,
but
I mean, there's plenty of. I mean, I've tubed the Comal, the Guadalupe. I've tubed off the Possum Kingdom. I've tubed all over the place. 99% of our state rivers, there ain't nobody injuncting you from doing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go up toward Concan. Ain't nobody stopping you with beer on this.
No,
I mean, so
never.
We're pretty wide open. It's those small places that grab the most people that have to be kind of regulated. But as Texans, we got access to a lot of free and easy land and water.
All right, we got a lot going on, friends. A lot going on today. We've got some tickets to give away to you. Dave Mason, Trevor Wallace, some Valero Texas Open tickets, and there's plenty of college hoops to discuss.
They're arriving today, baby.
It's upon us, friends. It's upon us. The golf starts tomorrow. This is a wild, wild week here in San Antonio. And there's also some national stuff going on. We got some football news. The big decision that was supposed to be made yesterday was not made at all. So thanks a lot.
Aggies got a for rent sign up.
There's a new sheriff in town in Maryland.
I got a story about this.
And an opening for a sheriff in Texas.
I got off the air yesterday and got a very heated phone call from someone like, "What are you talking about? You hadn't heard."
Okay.
And so there was some stuff behind the scenes that I, quite frankly, didn't know.
Okay. Well, can you reveal that?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to.
We'll reveal that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a couple of stalls. 35 northbound, 337 in New Braunfels. Looks like it's off to the left shoulder. And then a minor crash at 410 eastbound approaching Somerset, southwest side of town, off to the shoulder. They did just pick up that road work. 35 northbound Olympia Parkway to Evans and southbound 35 Schertz Parkway on down to FM 1518. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Acai Bowl lovers, April 6th is National Acai Bowl Day. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Tropic Rewards members can celebrate with $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. Not a member yet? Join the party by downloading the app and signing up today. Log into your account on April 6th to redeem your offer for $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Spring is here, and in South Texas, that means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you've been hit by a storm or think you have damage, now is the time to contact Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Don't put your trust in an out-of-town storm chaser. Stevens Roofing is a family-owned, locally based company who will be here for years to come. The team at Stevens Roofing and Solar will give you peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. Call 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Cool. Oh, hi. Welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Isn't this the parking lot of my daughter's ballet class?
It sure is, but I see you're on IKEA.com ordering some spring items.
Yeah, I'm hosting a barbecue this week. I completely forgot I need everything.
With delivery or pickup options, we've got what you need to conveniently order IKEA literally anywhere.
Convenient. Wait, where are you going?
The next car over just placed an IKEA order too. Busy morning.
You're amazing.
Get IKEA whenever, wherever, however you want. Order from IKEA online and get affordable delivery or choose from thousands of pickup locations.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code GROW. swishradio.com, code GROW.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you heard? Kohl's has 2 exclusive new home brands, Miriana and Mingle & Co. From luxe favorites that are all about turning your space into a sanctuary to fun mix and match dining essentials, there's so much to discover. And trust me, you're gonna love everything. Plus, you can get an extra 20% off throughout the store during our friends and family sale. So hurry to Kohl's today and bring it all home for less. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends April 6th. See store or kohls.com for details.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Wednesday, and that means Wednesday with Wade, talking about the Brahmas' rough start.
Plus, with that NIL decision coming soon, we'll talk to an expert, Jay Paterno. Yep, Joe's son. He will join us at 3:35.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors.
You know who did it? Who sang this? It's right on the tip of your tongue. Because it doesn't really fit.
In cars. No.
Gary Newman.
Gary Newman, that's right. A band redid it called Fear Factory. They had a remake of it.
God, this song's 40 years old?
Yeah. It's got to be older
40.
than that.
It was when I was in high school or right about that.
Right. I'm
MTV.
I'm
So I graduated 83.
Yeah, maybe it is.
44
God.
years old.
83, really?
Settle down.
I was in 7th grade.
Oh, I was 3 years old.
I'm now of the age that when I go to the doctor, I have to explain to the doctor the witch doctor craft that was done to me back in '83.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, so what did you have done?
Well,
Go on. They did what?
Well, they
really?
They tied my shoes real tight for a week.
and they're like, that worked? Well, I'm back, but
try explaining that my grandmother prayed with an egg.
You're kind of like, well, after the Vicks didn't work.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I had knee surgery. I had a patella tendon replaced back in 1983 from a cadaver, and it was a
it was a chicken cadaver.
I know. So what they did is so long ago that when I tell the modern doctors, they're like, "Oh, go on. I've read about this." So,
oh yeah.
So you didn't get the gangrene? I'm like, what? We had problems with that.
That's why they stopped it.
Yeah, so that your leg didn't fall off. You're the guy. So yeah, settle down with the old age stuff. They didn't use leeches. After I turned 8, leeches were no longer part of my doctor's house call regimen.
Well, that's nice to know. That's good to know. So if your doctor comes over now and offers leeches, you just tell him no?
Now it's holistic and cool.
They don't do house calls no more.
I think Aaron Rodgers would be. Aaron Rodgers is a leech truther.
Well, then we would lick frogs.
Yeah,
I mean, we weren't like that back.
You weren't.
We were licking frogs.
You weren't anti-science.
We believed in science.
Yeah. The Fighting Aggies of Texas A&M lost their coach yesterday to Maryland. Buzz Williams. The buzz was that he was looking at the Maryland job, and I said once you go out and it became obvious that Buzz was the one pursuing that job, and once that happened, I said you can't come back. Like Buzz can't come back and be like, well, I tried to get the Maryland job, it didn't work out, so I'll just stay here
Happy
at Texas
to be here,
A&M.
Glad to see you guys today.
I think Buzz is one of these guys who he wants a place where basketball feels more of a priority than Texas A&M. And you said this, Rob, and it really kind of struck me. It doesn't seem like any Aggie is all worked up about it. They're just like, well, whatever, man.
I mean,
and what's wild is I think Buzz Williams is probably one of the 20, 25 best basketball coaches in the country, like college basketball coach. I really think he is great. I think there are limits to how, there are limits that don't include national championships in my mind, but he is. There's a lot of good coaches who are probably never going to win national titles. I think he's in that conversation. But the fact that Aggies aren't broken up about losing Buzz and Buzz isn't broken up about leaving may say more about A&M basketball as a program than what it says. Because A&M's, what were they, a 3 seed?
3 seed. They beat a number 1 team for the first time in the history of their program.
You would think there'd be excitement around the program, and there's just not.
Because this is the same thing, and I told you this before he got let go, but as we were coming into the tournament, while they did beat a number 1, they've won some big games in the past, but there was a sense around the program that you're going to have to take the next step. You're going to have to go a little bit further than this. This is nice. Sweet 16s, and you've done everything that anybody's ever asked of you to this point. But now, after this length of time and given the resources that have been available to you, maybe we should expect, if not more wins, maybe some more star power. Maybe you're getting the 5-star where you're not getting those guys. And this is where it gets ironic, because Buzz Williams and Shaka both came from the same region. Now, Buzz coached at A&M and left and then came back he was an assistant and then came back. So there were some ties at A&M. But where they both came from, the Maryland, Virginia, Tidewater region, is a very specific style of basketball. And it's funny how both schools chose that style, which is a very successful one that doesn't necessarily require the 5 stars. Well, we were perfectly happy with what Buzz was doing to a point where we started to want, hey, man, let's get a showboat. Let's get somebody that's worth hanging some pride around. And he brought in exactly one star. Now, he had some transfers that he brought with him from Virginia Tech. But the guys he brought in, one guy, he brought a 5-star named Obaseki.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And, and he never panned out. He was probably the worst 5-star of the crew of 5-stars of his graduation class. So the expectation was grow the program, do something else. Shaka brought in the 5-stars, but he couldn't win. The outcome was essentially the same. I bet their records were pretty damn close.
Yeah.
As far as the output. Shaka left for an entirely different reason other than Buzz. But the way that they coached was the same at A&M. Shaka left because he kept having to go get guys that, quite frankly, he could not coach to do the things he wanted to do. Buzz didn't go get those guys, and he did get to do exactly what he wanted to do, and it wasn't enough. And we got a little bored with it. That's it. Fare thee well, as I was saying. Go with God. We're not mad at you. Hope you're not mad at us, but it's time had come.
Yeah, and you mentioned the new AD maybe playing a big role in this.
Well, that's the thing that I got a call yesterday. He goes, dude, do you not remember that we have an athletic director that came from Nebraska that was not here when Buzz was here, who had his own say there? So it was just a matter of time. So there was that. There was a real concern about next recruiting class because it does appear Buzz had already kind of started looking around.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot there. So in the end,
everyone from this team is headed out the door.
Oh, yeah. There might be 1 or 2 freshmen hanging around. But the class that he brought in, the one that had Hayden Hefner and Wade and all those guys, they're gone. So it's time to turn the page. It's unfortunate this is where the Aggie basketball situation is because Buzz didn't advance it, but he certainly held strong. This team is a good place, and it's a place where a coach, if he's willing to understand his place in the world, and that's a difficult thing to swallow, you'll probably end up when the food is divvied out, you're third in line. You're going to be behind football and probably baseball for the time being. So you're probably not going to have the kind of access to the total amount of resources that you might have been accustomed to at the school you're coming from, but that slice of pie will be bigger in total value. You'll have a lot more money than you ever had. You just won't have as much power as you had from the school you're coming from.
All right, we'll continue this conversation. We'll talk about some potentials to replace Buzz on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a couple of stalls. 35 northbound, 337 in New Braunfels. Looks like it's off to the left shoulder. And then a minor crash at 410 eastbound approaching Somerset, southwest side of town, off to the shoulder. They did just pick up that road work. 35 northbound Olympia Parkway to Evans and southbound 35 Schertz Parkway on down to FM 1518. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Whataburger. The $5 breakfast Whata deal is cooking at Whataburger. For a limited time, from 6 to 11 a.m. daily, get either a taquito or honey butter chicken biscuit and any drink for just $5. See you at Whataburger.
Play ball! Missions Baseball is back, and opening weekend is here at Wolf Stadium. We're kicking things off on Friday with opening night and a Missions Tumbler mug giveaway presented by Circle K. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Then on Saturday, the action continues with the first post-game fireworks of the season presented by Bud Light. First pitch at 7:05 p.m. Wrap up the weekend with afternoon baseball on Sunday with first pitch at 1:05 p.m. Don't miss the start of another epic season. Get your tickets now at samissions.com. Play ball!
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm going to give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
I'm ready. Let me just grab my bag. Sweatpants, huh? Didn't know we were keeping it casual this month. Yeah, I feel bloated every now and then.
You have to try new Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies. They have prebiotics to nourish good bacteria, probiotics to help relieve occasional bloating, and postbiotics for immune support.
All that in one gummy?
Yep. So no sweatpants next time?
Not anymore.
Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies for gut health support. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author and executive producer of the award-winning documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new film at 1-800-689-4242. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. So don't delay. Call right now, 1-800-689-4242. That's 1-800-689-4242. Again, 1-800-689-4242.
I can't believe you scored tickets para Nati Natasha.
After saving so much at T-Mobile, I thought, ¿por qué no darnos un gusto?
There she is.
Nati, can we get a picture?
Claro que sí. Wow, that's a nice picture.
The S25 takes awesome selfies.
Tag me and I'll follow you.
Get a new Samsung Galaxy S25 phone with Galaxy AI at T-Mobile and 4 lines for $25 a line.
With autopay discount plus taxes and fees. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us if canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their bestseller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What's this gal's name?
It's the NXS band.
Is this Debbie Gibson?
That was like a drive-by shooting. I didn't see that coming at all, man.
Just taking cheap shots at Rob all day.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here, and I got sniped.
I know, right? Who's this chick?
Yeah. Where'd this violence come from?
Is this Blondie?
Yeah.
This is Janis Joplin?
This is the... She would be in the same conversation.
Oh,
One of the
please.
greatest that ever... Oh, Janis Joplin jammed, man. Give her due.
Oh, that wasn't a knock on Janis Joplin.
Oh, God, that's twice. What date is it? Well, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Stay,
Oh, boy. We were talking about Buzz Williams leaving Texas A&M and what the potential replacements are. And you brought up that they have a Nebraska type now in-house.
Trev Albert's now the AD. We have to remember that he didn't hire Buzz. So there was that. And there was the general apathy. And I do think, while Buzz, he's not going to get more money in Maryland. Heck,
no.
Willard left Maryland because he didn't feel like they'd get the commitment. So he's going to get more than Willard did, but he ain't going to get what I think he's accustomed to. It'll be a bigger piece of the pie. And he'll be in a, maybe a more familiar region. Though, let me tell you, Maryland fan is not excited that he's coming. Lynn Elmore, the biggest Maryland alum that you can think of, open letter to Maryland before they hired Buzz, for the love of Pete, hire somebody with Maryland ties. Please bring in somebody that has some history with us, because since Gary Williams left, it's been a couple of dudes that don't know what they're doing, that we need to connect back with our alumni. And what did they do? They went and hired Buzz, who has zero ties, coming from another conference 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So they have their own issues with him arriving. Now, with Trev, you wonder where he'll be looking. I do know this. He worked with Fred Hoiberg there in Nebraska. Fred had a great run at Iowa State before he decided to go to the pros, and he was like, Saban didn't work. It was an abject failure in Chicago. They ran him out. And Nebraska is not necessary. He was someplace prior to that.
Indiana, right? Like he did 2 jobs in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then he ended up at Nebraska after some time off. But Nebraska was his next college job back.
He's only, as far as I know, he's only coached at Iowa State.
Maybe it
and
was.
Nebraska.
It was the Indiana that part that I'd forgotten. He's building the Nebraska program back, but it's the numbers will not jump off the page at you and that's just my drawing a line to a coach that I do indeed respect. Is there any connection there? I doubt it, but I do know that he's had some success in the past in the right situation. But I'll say this as an Aggie basketball fan. Go get somebody who has a plan, who is very, very immersed in the modern basketball game, which is transfer portal, one and dones, getting them and going, a system that can be picked up on in a year, and understanding the value of what the portal can do while understanding what roots need to be built with long-term players. And by long-term, I'm talking maybe 3 years, but you have to do both. And I think if you can find a guy with a plan toward that, I don't care who he's coming from.
I'm going to give you the ultimate hire for Texas A&M on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
A lot of people argue that the best breed of dog is a lineage called the Rescue. They're right. That's why we're asking San Antonio Sports Star listeners to help no-kill rescue agencies around San Antonio with food that these pups need. They're all good dogs. They just need a chance. The voice of the National Dog Show, John O'Hurley, will join the Sports Star guys all day Friday, April 11th for the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, the Institute for Functional Health, Big State Financial, G2Fi Shoes, Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, Ponderosa Ranch, Mr. W Fireworks, and Fifi and Fido's Pet Boutique. So lend a helping paw during the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon, Friday, April 11th.
Knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
The Valero Texas Open is a can't-miss event. Here's your chance to enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. You won't want to miss the next defining, unexpected, and winning moments at the Valero Texas Open. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. Buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 3rd through the 6th.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-929-1313. 800-929-1313. Again, that's 800-929-1313.
Aw, springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today, because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. Stop what you're doing. Here's my idea for Texas A&M basketball. And I think you'll like this, Rob, because I often tell you, I feel like I'm often the bearer of bad news. Like when A&M's baseball coach left, I was like, you're not surprised by this, are you? And inevitably, Aggie is often surprised by this.
Well, this one was, that was unprecedented and still a pox on my soul.
But at the end of the day, Texas baseball is a better destination job than Texas A&M baseball.
Well, they have rings, yeah.
Yeah. This is a chance for Aggie to kind of stick it back at Bevo, I think.
Okay.
Go hire Chris Beard from Ole Miss.
On its face, I would have no problem.
Chris Beard is one of the best coaches in the world. He's better than Ole Miss, quite frankly.
Probably.
And it's not that I think A&M is a much better job. I think it's probably a lateral move.
It is.
From a prestige standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, A&M has more swing.
Yeah, we're going to have to overpay to get the coach we want.
You're going to suddenly have, quite frankly, you'll have a better coach than Texas has, in my opinion. Like at least for an X's and O's. Like I think I would pick Chris Beard, and you've got their guy. And if you are better than Texas with Chris Beard, which I would imagine Chris Beard would be motivated to be better than Texas.
He'll be motivated no matter what. I mean, the rivalry's built in. So I will agree on everything. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's just not what the Aggies do. It's just.
They just let it be done to them?
Basically, we are not going to do something out of spite. And some of this feels spiteful. And that's why I keep saying on its face, he has everything. He has the relationship with Texas coaches. He has proven that he can turn a program around quickly. He understands the transfer portal, and he understands the value of keeping the roots of the program growing with guys that are not going to leave. He's a coach developer. He has guys that work under him that go on to do good things. He recruits well across the nation. So he fills every bill, but the firing from Texas and the reason behind it and the let go, and there's a cadre of types at A&M that we're just not going to take Texas as trash, good, bad, or indifferent. We're not going to do it. And maybe to the detriment, but that's just not how Aggies do it.
But I don't consider Beard Texas as trash. I think
I
think in hindsight, Texas wishes they would have let it play out. And
there's no doubt about that.
Because Chris Beard's one of the 10 best coaches in the country.
He's really good.
And
he is. But there's also the politics at A&M where you have to understand your place at the game, and football is first at the trough. Ole Miss, the trough might not be as big, but he's got a bigger piece of the pie. I think they care a little bit more about basketball at Ole Miss than football. But it's a much smaller school, and
you think they care more about basketball than football?
No,
more about basketball, or more about basketball than A&M cares.
Yeah, because I mean their baseball team's pretty good too. This is SEC stuff, but I do think that in the grand scheme of things, because even the women's basketball team has won a national championship. Our track team is national championship worthy. There's other parts of the athletic department that are huge. Both profit centers and profit takers. So you have to kind of share the wealth when you come to A&M a little bit more so, even though there's more resources. So we're not the perfect program to land at. And Chris Beard might look at this and go, why would I go there? Because the expectation for the next coach is Sweet 16 or bust, and this team better be chock full of 4 stars and 5 stars, all from the state of Texas and all those kind of things that alumni request when they donate that kind of money.
Yeah.
This might not be the program he wants, though. He fits every bill in my mind.
And I just think if they can find a way to win with Chris Beard, it would be such a big middle finger to Austin.
And again, that's one of the primary reasons why it probably won't happen. Just for and it's not because it wouldn't be fun. It would be, but it just doesn't feel like.
I mean, at some point though, when.
Like I told you,
when they come over and they say, we're taking your baseball coach, and you say, oh, no, you're not, and then they just pull them out of your pocket and put it in their pocket, it's like, wouldn't it feel good to at least kind of
just not how we function?
Back?
I mean, keep in mind, we left the conference because we were sick of this crap. We left you know what? We're never going to outspend. We're never going to outbrag. We're never going to say it's always going to be you. We're out. We're done. And we don't want to have to deal with it anymore. And what happened with Texas? They followed us and started again. And we're like, you know what? We want nothing to do with you. If we had, it's serious. If we
had, it was like
the lone vote,
13-1 vote.
We're like, you guys don't get what's coming. And now the rest of the SEC is like, we wish we'd have listened.
No, they don't.
Oh, please. Trust me.
No, because they just they're getting a big, giant bag of money.
No, they didn't make any more money with Texas than they wouldn't have already made. There would have been another team that had gone to the tournament over Texas. The money is the same, whether they invited Texas or not. Now, the Q rating's up because it's Texas. We warned everybody, be careful of what you're letting in, because give them a rope, they think they're a cowboy. Give them an inch, they take a mile. And I'll be damned, your first year there, you come and get the coach. And here we go. Here we go again.
Yep.
Here it goes again. So we're not going to, if I have anything to say with it, I love Chris Beard. I want nothing to do with him.
Wow.
It's just because it's bigger than him. It's bigger than him.
Okay.
And it'll go throughout the program. We want nothing to do with you. And everything that happens, you guys come picking a fight. We didn't want you here. We didn't invite you. We didn't ask you to Joe. So here you sit, and here you come again. And now other people, why don't you hire him to give him the finger? We're trying to ignore you. We'd like to turn our back and have nothing to do with you, but no, we were forced back into it.
But isn't there part of you that like?
No, there's no part of me at all. And let me tell you.
Then who's your big rival then, Rob?
It doesn't matter. It's not you. And let me
don't
tell you.
point at me.
No,
I'm
pointing in the grand you. Let me tell you, the people that run A&M now, the people that are in control are people my age. That we're in our late 50s, mid-50s to early 60s. We're at the peak of our professional careers. And while we were at A&M, we didn't lose to Texas. We won 4 times. Peter Gardier was our 12th man. We went to half-full Austin stadiums. So my memory of A&M is very different than most of A&M's history.
But you got to realize what's happened.
No, I'm very aware of it. And we just turn our back. We're never going to compete. Why try? And they keep picking fights.
We'll be back. More of this Morning Huddle 94.1.
This is the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, This is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-770-2727. 800-770-2727.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
And Doug.
Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
You want to add more excitement watching games? Make sure you download the Underdog app. Jason Minix here. Baseball is back, and you can make opening day and every other game day more exciting with Underdog. Play the Pick'em game where you choose whether a player will go higher or lower on their stats. So download the Underdog app. Sign up now using the promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code STAR. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Guys over 40, tired of feeling tired? Testosterone therapy by Synergenics is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment covered by most major insurance. Don't wait for online meds. Walk into their clinic, see a provider, feel great today. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely starting to fill in. On the southwest side, Loop 410 eastbound, Somerset to Palo Alto. We've got the roadway reduced to one lane. Rollover accident. Traffic is stopped from 35. Also, that left lane on the frontage road blocked as well. 37 northbound, Loop 410, accident right lane, and a stall at 35 northbound, 337 in New Braunfels. It's got the left shoulder blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The owners did approve changes to the kickoff. Touchbacks will now go to the 35-yard line. There will be authorizing replay assist, and overtime rules will change where both teams will always get the ball. The NFL also announced a Christmas Day triple header going up against the NBA. There'll be 2 games on Netflix, and it'll be followed by a nightcap on Amazon. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7 o'clock, rocking and rolling on a hump day. Where's my,
Now, where is it? Hold on.
I don't know.
I'd forgotten.
Hump day! Hump day! Hump day!
Good old Shannon.
Oh, yes.
Stiff as a board.
I love that all the people in Vegas at the boxing thing were like, that's where we know you guys from. You guys played that.
That's right.
We're doing all that grunting and
It broke
groaning.
that morning when we were in Vegas. That's right. We have to remember that people only hear half of the conversation.
Yeah, they don't hear it all.
Yeah.
They just hear us going, and they're like, what the hell's going on in San Antonio? Like these, all these national shows, LA radio shows are looking at us like, what are you guys talking about there?
We remember you guys.
We're doing weird stuff here in San Antonio, buddy. We keep it weird. I like it that way. We've been talking about the Texas A&M basketball gig. The unfortunate thing for A&M is the timing of this is such that you're kind of the last person in line.
Especially for the hot coaches. Those guys are snapped up. Gone.
Yeah. And that's partly why taking a big swing like a Chris Beard makes some sense.
Well, there's some tampering going on right now, I can assure you.
Because the alternative is taking someone from a small school or taking an assistant from somewhere, and I don't think that's a Texas A&M. Like that doesn't seem like what they'd want. They want a splash, I think.
I would like to think. I honestly don't know the kind of coach that Trev Alberts is looking for. This will be his first basketball hire. I don't know the style he likes. Is it a control? Is it more of the buzz, roll it out and go get the rebound kind of stuff? I don't know what he and his group want to go get. I know what I want, and it's not exactly what Buzz was. It's a little bit different. I like a little bit more structure as far as I said something to AJ and as we were talking about this earlier, and it's not totally true, but there is some truth in it, that I think some of the Aggies would almost lose a bit more pretty than win as ugly as it's been. It's a difficult watch for A&M games, even though there has been some success. And if you're not going to win titles, at least make it interesting to go, And that's, I'm afraid, kind of the attitude there. So that kind of changes this type of coach that Alberts might be looking for. I mentioned Hoiberg, but I do think there's some lateral move coaches that would be available, and I'm not sure if you just go get a retread, if that's what I want. I honestly am kind of wide open to the possibilities, and that's why when I discount the Chris Beard thing, it's a silly idea, I know, because if he's available, as far as the ones that would be worth the time, effort, and the money required, he would be one of them. I would be completely in on it. And I really have no idea which way they're looking.
The problem with taking like an assistant from someone or someone who's not had a big job before is you're seeing right now that's what's going on with their baseball program. They hired an assistant from in-house to replace Schloss, and that ain't going real well for Texas A&M baseball. No. And there's already Aggies who are like, we need to fire this guy and find a different coach. Like, it hadn't even been a year. And they're like, we got to fire this guy, get him out.
Fast.
He ain't it.
It's been a miserable failure so far. Now it's early, but so far, and whenever you're I don't want to use the term a rush or a quick fix. There's always another quick fix imminent. Fail fast. So, it's a difficult environment. If I'm a coach and I'm looking at baseball, I'm looking at the rest of the program. It's not an easy place to land. I mean, we ran off a $75 million coach. Now you get to leave wealthy. Buzz is leaving while being a winner. Schloss left after taking his team to the College World Series. I mean, it's not an easy place to stay. So it's not the best job. And I have to be honest with that as Aggies, that we might not get our first choice because the basketball program, probably third on the hierarchy. We know that Trev Alberts is quick to fire or easy to wave goodbye.
Well, or he's just trying to put his stamp on it.
Well, as every AD does.
Yeah.
So, and if you're that higher, that gives you some leeway. But Trev's new here too. There's no guarantee he's here long term. He's from outside the fam.
Yeah. So, and that's why this hire is probably pretty important.
That's why when you talk to Del Conte ain't going nowhere. No. I mean, and Trev Alberts, I'm not saying there's any pressure on this cat at all, but the Elko hire will define what Alberts does and how long he stays.
The Elko hire / Jimbo firing.
Well, he'll be praised for pulling the trigger, but at the same time, he
But
will
if it
be
doesn't prove-
cursed
if
for
it
the
doesn't
hire.
if
Yes.
it doesn't prove results,
Exactly.
like if you paid a bunch of money to still suck, there's going to be
Well,
some
suck's a broad word. I mean, but yeah,
to still not
achieve what
be at the level you
right.
expect to be at.
Right, and I think what I'm trying to define is, as Aggie fan goes, well, go get Chris Beard. Well, Chris Beard could look over here and go, it ain't that good a job. I mean,
You're right.
You know what I mean? So,
but that's
they
why
might be relegated to the.
And then you open, but that's why you got to open up the wallet and go, it's a pretty good
Well,
job.
No, that's like I told you. Whoever we get, we're going to have to overpay just because of the circumstances they're arriving. But A&M, we're used to that. That's no big deal. There's always money in the cushions, so that won't be the issue. But we can't delude ourselves into saying, why wouldn't you come? Well, because we got every possible facility. You'll have everything at your beck and call. You'll have every penny you ever require. But there's some crap you're going to have to shovel. I mean, it's not the ideal place to land.
Yeah, it's a weird position because most jobs that have that kind of financial backing are looked at as.
And it is it's the culmination of a career kind of a job. If at the end of your career you put on your resume, I coached at Texas A&M, you progressed as well as any coach has ever done. I mean, it is a high-end, end-of-the-line kind of job. It might not be the number one job, but it's in the top 25 because as far as pay goes and ability and money and prestige and all that, it's up there with the very tops. 25 is probably high, 30.
Two names that came to mind also, that guys who don't have buyouts, which this would interest A&M, and one of these guys actually has ties to Trev Alberts. One is Chris Crutchfield from Omaha.
I've heard his name twice.
Trev was Omaha's AD before he was at Nebraska.
And his team's tourney bound.
Yep. And Omaha was back in the tournament this year. He worked for a long time under Lon Kruger on that team that went to the Final Four. So he's got some he's got some sway. The other guy is Bryce Drew, who's a younger coach and has been at Grand Canyon for 5 seasons. And in 5 seasons, they've gone to the tournament 4 times. They've gone 120-40. He coached Vanderbilt before, so he's been in the SEC. Now, Vanderbilt's a very difficult place to win, but so is A&M kind of. That feels like a good hire, too. And, again, I think A&M, knowing what they just had to deal with Jimbo, and if that's part of what Buzz is saying is like, hey, man, there's just not enough money in the coffers for us, then a guy who doesn't have a $30 million buyout is probably kind of appealing.
Well, I don't think anybody would argue with Bryce Drew. I think he's the kind of guy that would be amenable to coming. He's been successful in a lesser program. Why not? Really, I don't want to sound indifferent, but there's so many different ways to go here. He fits a lot of what I'm looking for.
See, part of me is like if I were an Aggie, I would say Chris Beard, TJ Otzelberger, let's kind of shoot for the stars.
Like I said, there's tampering going on today. And there's probably 25 alumni that have enough sway that are making their own calls. So we're not tampering per se because they're not actual representatives of the school. But they're talking to see where it would take. And the buyouts we can find without, just asking.
And one thing that I know most about A&M types is while they don't always expect to get their way, they like most A&M guys will tell you, like, we're not going to get the A-plus guy every time. And that's why when they got Jimbo, they were so proud of that one.
He was our LaMarcus Aldridge.
What they don't want is to be embarrassed. And so if they're talking to guys, these top guys, they don't want it to be public rejection. And I think that they're going to make sure before anything's really thrown out there, they're going to make sure that person is interested. Because what they don't want is someone to publicly say, I'm not going to A&M.
There will be no names mentioned until we have a yes.
Yeah.
And that will be, and if you mention the fact that you were called, we will deny. It will be that kind of circumstance. I'm eager to see how they go because I do think that whoever does arrive is going to get a good 6-year deal and probably make $3-4 million a year, and not probably that high end, probably up right there, right in line with the middle of the SEC. So they'll get a nice bump, and an expectation of the modern basketball world is 2 years from now, this team better be exactly what you want it to be. You don't get the 5 years anymore. You don't have to fill 4 classes of freshmen. You get 2 years. You get your first transfer class and your second transfer class. And by that point, you better have a championship level roster. We watched Kentucky do it in 3 months, 4 months.
But again, A&M comparing themselves to Kentucky basketball is like.
Well, I'm just saying that it's possible, and we've watched guys go from where, the Division school to Drake. I mean, it's not that hard to get better fast, is what I'm getting at. You don't get the 5 years slow build. You get 2 years now, and doesn't mean you get fired after 2 years, but the pressure gets turned up after 2 because you have enough time now and money to do something like that.
Although it also feels like pressure's not super high with A&M basketball relative to some places.
No, it's one of those, it's the constant drip. You know, it's the drip and the slow build that built the Grand Canyon. And no, we're not going to be in your face. There's not this national title tomorrow, but there's a national title expected next year or 2 years from now, and that's always that rotating clock. So it'll wear you down. Buzz got worn down. He's gone.
All right. Well, enough A&M basketball talk. We'll talk about the teams that are actually in the Final Four. Well, I want to talk some NBA next, though. There were a couple performances last night that are worth noting. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, Arasti providers are all around San Antonio, and this time of year, man, it makes some sense, right? Because as you come to the big game, the big event, and you're not able to perform physically, there's no worse feeling, and that can go for the big weekend out at the park. It can go for the reunion coming up around the lake. If physically you can't do it, my goodness, what are you doing? Arasti is here to fix that. They fix pain in ways you might not have considered because it has nothing to do with pills to hide the long-term pain. It has nothing to do with some kind of long-term treatment program that involves surgery and everything else that goes along with that. No. This is your body fixing itself, non-invasive, doesn't involve medications. It really is a remarkable way to get well, and it works quickly. I'm living proof. So if you're dealing with lower back issues, a sprain or a strain, maybe it's plantar fasciitis, maybe frozen shoulder, whatever that issue, you know Arasti can fix it and fix it fast. In fact, under 4 visits. They did a study a couple years back and asked the patients, how'd you do? Back in the game, under 4 visits. Would you recommend Arasti to your friends and family? 99% said yes. There's no higher recommendation than that. So how do you go? Well, it's easy. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. So you don't need a referral. You can call right now and make your appointment. And if you need to figure out where to go to Arasti.com. They got a map of all the providers there. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Listen, don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix. It's called Arasti. Call them now. They'll get you fixed, and when they do, come on by and you can thank me later.
A lot of people argue that the best breed of dog is a lineage called the Rescue. They're right. That's why we're asking San Antonio Sports Star listeners to help no-kill rescue agencies around San Antonio with food that these pups need. They're all good dogs. They just need a chance. The voice of the National Dog Show, John O'Hurley, will join the Sports Star guys all day Friday, April 11th for the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, the Institute for Functional Health, Big State Financial, G2Fi Shoes, Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, Ponderosa Ranch, Mr. W Fireworks, and Fifi and Fido's Pet Boutique. So lend a helping paw during the 2025 Puppy Food.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm going to give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man age 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The price of gold could surge in 2025. A large bank analyst is calling it the ultimate perceived safe haven asset. That's why thousands of hardworking Americans are getting help safeguarding their money and saving with precious metals like gold and silver. Call 855-838-GOLD to learn about the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. They're going to give you a free gold and silver kit, plus you can also get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified orders. Call Goldco at 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Maybe the Cowboys need to make a trade for Joe Milton.
You really think this is the guy? Like, I can see Jerry and Steven go, yeah, that's the guy. I mean, seriously.
Name me a franchise who you're excited about who the backup quarterback is. I mean,
Baltimore.
So after Cooper Rush gets fired, you decide you like Cooper Rush. I'm with you, but I mean,
it's not that I like Cooper Rush. It was he was dependable. You knew what you were getting.
Yes.
Cowboys have no clue. If something happens to Dak, you have no idea what's going to happen.
But I know my expectations, whether it be Cooper Rush or Joe Milton or Joe Reinagel, if Dak is hurt, the Cowboys season is essentially over. I mean, he might be able to keep the boat afloat for a little while, but eventually it's going to sink.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
What a band. These guys would kick U2's ass. They'd be rolling down Rodeo with a shotgun, and U2 would be like,
don't even begin.
Man, why would you have a shotgun,
there.
man?
I'm going to say it.
There's no need for this. There's no need.
A prayer for you. Try to.
These people ain't seen a brown-skinned
anger.
man since their grandparents bought one. We got one in studio with us. Vic's a brown-skinned man.
That's right.
You talking about U2, or is that just a lyric?
People ain't seen a brown-skinned man since their grandparents
I'm going to
bought
say a little
one.
prayer for you and your violent nature.
This isn't violent. They're just
violent.
He's protecting himself because he's a brown-skinned man. Bono wishes he could come up with something like that.
Bono is a righteous man.
Rolling down Rodeo with the shotgun.
Or what's the impersonator's name? Mono?
Buno.
Buno. That's what it was.
Bueno.
No Buno. Oh, man. How about let's give something away? Let's give away some Let It Flow tickets. Dave Mason, the Let It Flow tour, July 22nd at the Aztec Theater, the old Aztec. Let's go with, let's go caller number 5. And if you don't win these tickets, you can go to livenation.com and you'll get tickets there. But if you want to go see Dave Mason, July 22nd, caller number 5, you'll win yourself a pair of tickets. We got some more tickets to give away as well, including Valero Texas Open tickets and Trevor Wallace, the Alpha Beta Male Tour going on as well. Some funny folks coming to San Antonio. I love some good. I haven't seen any comedy since I've been to San Antonio. I need to go make a comedy run. I like to laugh. I started a show yesterday that I haven't watched yet, and everyone kept telling me, you got to watch this show. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I was like, I don't really like to watch comedy shows.
I don't ever I judge people by their humor, so sometimes I don't want to know what their humor is.
Oh, I won't tell you what show it is then. Never mind.
No. I mean, there are shows that
I don't
if you
want
don't
to be
find
judged.
funny, I judge you.
I like to watch funny movies, but the idea of watching like multiple seasons of a funny show isn't always appealing to me. Like, because something has to grab me. Like there has to be like a storyline that I'm following. Righteous Gemstones.
Oh God, it's great.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Great. Are you just starting this?
I'm on the 4th episode
of
right now.
Season 1. Oh gosh, yeah, you got years to go.
Yeah. So it's very funny so far.
Well, what's his name is the guy who started it. I always want to call him Ricky Bobby. What's his? But him.
Yeah,
Danny
McBride.
Danny McBride, I find hilarious.
From Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, that's that. If you like that kind of humor, which I do, he's pretty good.
There's a lot of penis in it.
Oh, it gets worse as the seasons go on. There's a lot of full frontal.
A lot of penis in that show, which in moderation is kind of funny. But I mean, I've been 4 episodes. I've seen like 4 schlongs.
It will continue.
It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
A couple of episodes as we further into it. Yeah. You think you're uncomfortable now.
And, man, the casting in that show is so great.
It's brilliant. No, that's a phenomenal show.
John Goodman being, like, the main pastor is hilarious.
And you haven't really gotten into the backstory how you got into this.
No. And
he's a former professional wrestler.
And Walter Goggins is, like,
Uncle Baby Buddy?
Yeah.
Uncle Baby Billy?
With his sunburn and, it's so funny. So I've enjoyed it so far. But
the latest season just hit. I guess that's why it was promoted.
I jumped into it.
We're full up on that one.
Okay. Have you watched all the new season?
Oh, I've watched everything so far.
Okay. It's a slow release?
Yeah,
like
it's
once
typical.
a week. Oh God!
But by the time you get to the end of the next 4 seasons, it'll be out.
And this is the last season, I was told.
Yeah, we were told it might have been last year, but yeah, this is it. It looks like they're winding things down.
Pretty funny show, man. Pretty funny show.
And it gets funnier. They get better.
Last night in the association, we saw one of those games you don't oft see. Nikola Jokic played 52 minutes and 38 seconds of basketball last night. And he had 61 points, 10 boards, 10 assists. In a loss. A 140-139 double overtime loss. He did not leave the floor after halftime, so played the entire second half, the entire overtime, and the entire double overtime, and still lost that game. A 61-point triple-double, only to lose by 1 point.
It's a playoff game.
Felt like it, right?
Yeah, it was a slugfest. And I will say this, and the minutes, this is not to denigrate, was a remarkable, incredible performance. But Luka and his physical effort in 52 minutes is very different than 52 minutes from, let's just say, the dude on the other side of the floor in Anthony Edwards. I mean, Jokic is the epitome of economy of movement. You know what I mean? There's not an extra step taken with Jokic. He does exactly what is required, no more, no less. Now, he does it perfectly, But he's not the kind of guy that's going to run to the corner, back out to the three-point line, take a cut, V-cut, back to the basket, keep moving constantly. No, he goes down, gets in the paint, takes a couple dribbles, takes a shot, makes a pass, gets back and plays position defense. So if there's a player in the world that's equipped to go 52 minutes at his size, it's the Joker. He's great at it, though. But I would say if he'd have probably played 36 minutes and maybe focused a little bit more on defense, he might not have had to play so many minutes and might have won the basketball game.
The Timberwolves have beat the Nuggets 6 straight times. Jokic became the second player in NBA history to lose with a 50-point triple-double.
That sucks, man.
The last time was 1963. And you can probably guess who had the triple-double in 1963. It's the guy that had them basically every day in 1963. A fellow named Wilt Chamberlain did that.
Say Bob Pettit.
Well,
it was Wilt.
It was Wilt. That is also the third 60-point triple-double in the history of the NBA.
And at 52 minutes. And so, when you question his motivation, my gosh.
And it is the most points scored in a triple-double in the history of the NBA because the other two were exactly 60. James Harden did it in 2018. Luka did it in 2022. And now Joker does it in 2025 with 61
I wonder how many
points.
minutes those other two played to get there.
Luka didn't play 52 minutes. He would have
I'd have killed him.
Harden, too. Those aren't exactly cardio monsters.
So
not that Jokic is.
You know what? It's funny. Those three guys we're talking about are the masters of economy of movement.
Yeah.
Literally, they'll never be accused of overly hustling.
Well, and you mentioned if they played a little more defense, but you could argue that all three of those guys have found a way for defense to be optional at times.
You can only be good at three things. Seriously. To be a good NBA player, just be good at three things. And sometimes it doesn't involve hustle.
Well, those three guys, 2018 Harden, 2022 Luka, 2025 Jokic, you're talking about the best guys in the world.
Well, yeah,
they're good
shooters.
at more than three things.
Well, what I'm saying is there's those jobs, but you're not going to focus on a bunch of other stuff. If you're killing with 60, I'm not expecting you to play lockdown D. You don't need to do it.
Yeah, but just an incredible, incredible night for Joker in the loss. Not to be overshadowed, Steph Curry had himself a pretty good night for an old man. How about 52? 52. Now, the last time Steph played in Memphis, that was back in December. Steph was held without a field goal, and the Warriors lost that game by 51 points. Steph said, that ain't happening again.
He remembered that night.
Warriors get a win 134-125.
This is when they had Taylor Jenkins. They fire Taylor, and they give up 52 at home to Steph.
Yes.
There is a cancer in the Grizzlies locker room. There's something afoot, man.
It was Steph Curry, the 27th time in his career that he made at least 10 threes. Listen to this stat, Rob. 27th time in his career he's made at least 10 threes. Do you know who's second on the list?
Steph.
No,
I bet he has every one of them.
Career 10 3-point games.
I was going to say, other than Steph, 10 point. I don't know.
At least 10 threes made in a game.
Probably a Celtic or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure a team in a moment.
It's Klay Thompson.
Is it Klay? Yeah.
You know how many he has? 9.
Yeah.
Think about that. Steph has done it 3 times more than the next closest guy.
And it's so much, to me, it's so much more impressive what he did. And I'm not saying both of them are not miracles, but Steph has to move. You can't have economy of movement with his game. He's running off V-picks. He's cutting. He's coming around. He's curling. He's playing defense on the edge. He's having to defend guys for 30 feet instead of 2. Instead of leaning on them, he's going to have to go with them and lean on them. The physical requirements of what Steph did to go get that versus what Joker did are so different that, for me, hitting threes with dead legs like that in the fourth quarter is just ridiculous. I don't know how he can do it.
A couple other things that he did last night. He passed Jerry West, moved into 25th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
I would have thought he was further up than 25th, and
he was tied for 7th on the all-time list of most 50-point games in NBA history. He's now tied for 6th. He was tied for 7th with Rick Barry and a fella named LeBron James. So Steph Curry, more 50-point games in his career than LeBron. He's now tied with Dame Lillard for 6th, which Dame Lillard, kind of a surprising name on that list. The only guys ahead of them, Elgin Baylor, James Harden, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain. This is what's crazy.
Never be matched,
I mean, Michael Jordan is 2nd all-time with 31.
You never touching Wilt.
Wilt Chamberlain had 118 50-point games in his career.
Oh.
Now, he was playing against plumbers and bricklayers, but
still,
yeah.
But there, I don't like that argument. But there were only 8 teams in the league, so that while there are a few plumbers and bricklayers, think about all the talent in the world compressed into 8 teams. There was the best talent available. Yeah, they weren't as far ahead, but
they were like 6'4" white guys.
Not all of them. They weren't. I mean, there was height, but they just weren't. They were as good as they could have been for the time. And Wilt was teleported from another universe.
Wilt was a freak show. Yeah, I'm not trying. I don't mean to knock Wilt by saying it's incredible what he did.
He was just super tall, man.
He was just an in that era. And not to say that he wouldn't succeed in modern NBA. I'm sure he wouldn't be doing that. But
he was Andre the Giant to the wrestling.
He really
world.
was. There was no answer to it.
It's his title.
There was no answer. And honestly, like had Shaq shown up in 1960, it probably would have been very similar. Because at the time, hell, there were no answers for Shaq when he showed up in 1992 or whatever it was.
Man.
But when Wilt Chamberlain was around, there was really no answer to it. Like at least guys like Olajuwon and Robinson and Ewing existed when Shaq showed up, so they could at least come up with some ideas.
Offset it a little bit.
Imagine these dudes who are have part-time jobs on the side going, hey, what are we going to do to stop this guy tonight? They're like, nothing, man. Let's just hope that the other guys on their team suck.
Just hold them under 80 and let's get out of here.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I got to get up early. That milk won't deliver itself.
Got a newspaper route, bub. Yeah. Got a newspaper route. So congrats to Steph, 25 on the all-time list.
Ridiculous,
25. Man. And they asked Draymond last night, was this the best you've seen Steph play? He was like, hell no, no chance. I've played with him for 15 years. I can't quite recall the best one off the top of my head, but that ain't it. Which, again, is something.
It is something, yeah.
When you have a game like that, and they're like, yeah, it's good. It was just not the best I've seen of it.
Steph, the thing about Steph Curry is, every point he got, because most of the points he got were pretty incredible to see.
Yeah.
Joker, you look down and go, he got 60?
Yeah. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's very different, but they're cool in different ways. All right. Like with Harden, it was going to be at the free throw line.
But you knew he had the points because he had the ball in his hand all day long. Yeah. With Joker, he's dropping dimes, and you look down, you think you held him into a pretty good game. He's got a triple-double in 60, and you're like, my God, I thought I held him down.
All right, let's dig into some more hoops on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
I hope you got up this morning and washed yourself clean under a Connecticut water-softened shower. If that is you, carry on about your day. You're starting right. But if you're like the others out there that haven't quite come upon a Connecticut, whether it's by contract or by water softener already in your current circumstance, or you just quite frankly didn't know, now's the time. Connecticut water softeners, well, first of all, they've been around San Antonio for 50 years. They've been taking care of my family as long as I can remember. I'm in the 4th house. I've used them downtown. I'm used them on a well right now. My parents have them. So does my brother. It's part of the family. You need to have the same. See, Connecticut's part of our family because they're always there and always working. They're designed differently. They don't have a motherboard. You don't even plug those things in. They just work, and they always work for me. I've never had one single problem. Now, the great thing about the Connecticut, it works off this kinetic energy, which means it only comes on when you turn on the faucet, so you don't have to worry about something breaking. There's not those moving ports or a motherboard to go down. It just goes and goes and goes. Now, the warranty, I'm told, is extraordinary. I wouldn't know, never used it. Now, here's what's going on now. If you've ever thought about a Connecticut, now's the time to call. If you'll go 656 Pure, you can go ahead and start if you're ready to go. But if you need more convincing, there's money in your old water softener. They'll give you some cash for that. There's great financing available right now. In the next 90 days, you'll have one in your home to prove it to yourself that it's worth the phenomenal investment that will do and help your home. So call them today at 656 Pure. They're going to come out and put a Connecticut in your home for 90 days. 3 months from now, they're going to ask if you want it. You'll say yes, I'm sure, and then you'll get all the stuff that goes along with it and a little bonus. A reverse osmosis drinking station on your sink. They got the decor to match your decor, and that's just a little bonus for taking care of the best water softener you can get in this part of the world. Dial 656-PURE to get it. Go to KineticoSA.com for more details if you need them. I know I would. Call them today, get the very best, and you can come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot on 1604 westbound Bulverde Road. Accident that they quickly moved off a main lane. It's onto the left shoulder. A little bit of stop and go from right around Green Mountain. 37 northbound Southeast Military, accident up to the shoulder. 410 eastbound Somerset to Palo Alto. They finally cleared that accident, so all lanes have reopened. And up in New Braunfels, Comal County, 35 northbound 337 Ruckel Road. That's a stall. Left shoulder blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Acai Bowl lovers, April 6th is National Acai Bowl Day. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Tropic Rewards members can celebrate with $5 off an Acai Bowl or Acai Bowl with Nutella. Not a member yet? Join the party by downloading the app and signing up today. Log into your account on April 6th to redeem your offer for $5 off an Acai Bowl or Acai Bowl with Nutella. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author and executive producer of the award-winning documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, 5%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new film at 1-800-689-4242. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. So don't delay. Call right now, 1-800-689-4242. That's 1-800-689-4242. Again, 1-800-689-4242.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Vic's playing this in honor of our friend Val Kilmer.
The lunger.
Doc Holliday himself.
Yeah.
Passed away yesterday. Not an April Fool's joke. Actually died. Yeah, I guess he'd had cancer for a long time, and he was a Christian Scientist, so he refused medicine, which always sounds cool until you got cancer. It's like,
well, maybe I will take that.
You sure about this medicine thing?
He was dedicated.
Did some great movies though. He was in you mentioned The Doors. He played Jim Morrison. He was in that movie. Do you remember Willow?
Yeah.
He was in that movie.
Yeah. Spy Hard. Is that the other one?
No, Top Secret was that one. That was
Top Secret. That was the name of it.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
And then he was in obviously Tombstone is maybe his.
Probably. Well, that and Top Gun, I think, were the two movies he was known for.
Big ones.
In True Romance.
Oh yeah.
He was Elvis in True Romance.
No. He was.
And he was Batman. Let's not forget, in Batman Forever, he was Bruce Wayne.
He did do a Batman. Who was he in True Romance?
He was Elvis.
That was Christian Slater.
No, he was Elvis Presley in True Romance.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, he had that little bit role at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
But that was just a.
And then he did the what was the movie? The Island of something with Marlon Brando in it.
Oh, Moreau.
Yes, he was in that.
They're turning people into animals.
Yes. Ghost in the Darkness, which is a pretty cool
Killing
movie.
Lions. That was a good one. Yeah, there were certain people in this world that have a glimmer in their eye, that there's something behind the face, and he was one of those guys that you could always tell. He lived his life. I appreciated that.
And he later on became a great big fat person, which I think was kind of tough on him. Made it tough to get roles, certainly. But the most impressive thing about Val Kilmer, I'm gonna give you a list of some of the women he had. Now, he was married to a gal named Joanne Whalley for a good while. She was an actress. She was a very good-looking lady. But over the years, he dated Cher. If I could turn back time.
That's the reason he's dead now. Took his youth.
Leslie Ann.
Sucked him dry.
Well, there's one on this list much more likely to do that. I'll give that one to you here in a minute. Leslie Ann Warren, he dated for some time.
God, is he that old?
Yeah.
That's a little Milford for him. She's older than him.
He was born in 59.
Daryl Hannah, he had her.
Oh, okay.
I was in the same room with her. She's like 6'3". Did you know that?
Yeah.
Big old tall girl. Yeah.
He had Ellen Barkin, the gal from Diner.
My gosh, she's man.
Wow.
He had Cindy Crawford.
Nice.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're of my generation.
Yeah. He had Cindy Crawford Cindy Crawford like in the 80s
when she was one of the Pepsi girls, the supermodel.
I think it might have been before that.
Was she a teenager?
Well, no,
Cindy
that was the prime time.
Okay.
This is 1985. This would have been when he was at his peak.
And more likely to suck his energy, in my mind, to steal his youth. He had Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
wow.
Look what she did to Thornton.
I know.
That's a shell of himself.
And Brad Pitt.
He's rebounded.
Brad Pitt.
Closely. He might not ever recover, but at least he's rebounding.
Val Kilmer, Billy Bob Thornton, all Eskimo brothers.
Well, I imagine they shared more than just her.
I think
she wasn't the only one in that crew.
Yeah.
Well,
Rip Val, man. That's sad.
65
he
years
did
old.
that last Top Gun, and he had the cancer stuff, so he couldn't talk and the whole thing.
They used his voice from the first Top Gun and just kind of enhanced it a little bit.
Yeah, AI'd it.
Yeah. They had tried to get. There was a rumor that he was like talking in AI to preserve his voice, so they could just manipulate it. But he said that was never true.
He couldn't speak at all.
Yeah, but R.I.P. Val Kilmer. That was a good one. He was one of the good ones, and that role in Tombstone to me is one of the best ever.
Yeah.
He stole that movie. He
two.
was
Top Gun and Tombstone. I
yeah,
think.
but he in Tombstone for the guy who wasn't supposed to be the main character. He became the main character. That's the thing. Like, when I think of Top Gun, the first guy I think of is Tom Cruise. Like, but Val Kilmer, even though that was Kurt Russell's movie, Tombstone, he was Wyatt Earp. It didn't matter. Val Kilmer stole the whole movie. Like that's his movie. I don't care what anybody says. And Batman Forever, widely regarded as
the worst of the Batman.
Okay, I wasn't gonna. No, I think
is Clooney the worst?
I think George Clooney was looked at.
That
That was the worst.
Well, we've had so many now. There's a few others.
Val Kilmer's was the second one that had the Riddler. It was Jim Carrey Riddler. It had Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and it had Alicia Silverstone as Catwoman or Batgirl. Batgirl.
That was back then. That was when it was
Alicia.
They did it. That wasn't. No, that was the. Who was the Batman with Jack Nicholson?
That was the original Batman.
That was the one.
That was
like,
Michael Keaton.
Yeah. With Prince doing this. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, it also had that Batman Forever. That's the first appearance of Robin in the movie. They had Chris O'Donnell as Robin.
That came and went.
They were like, we can't have Robin in these movies.
Yeah,
it's so awkward. It makes everything feel like there's
gay
undertones.
Ace and Gary. What's everybody looking at?
Yeah, it made everything feel like there were undertones of homosexuality in the movies.
Never going to play well. In the modern world, if you have a ward of the court living with you as a solitary millionaire, no, I brought him in. I'm teaching him to be a superhero. The fact that I make him walk around in tights should mean nothing to you.
Yeah. I didn't realize this. The other guys, when Michael Keaton decided he was not going to be Batman again, the guys who were considered before Val Kilmer, William Baldwin.
I remember this. Yeah, this is when the Baldwin brothers were everywhere.
And Ethan Hawke.
That would have been a poor choice, but he ended up making.
Ethan Hawke ended up working out all right.
But at that point, he seemed kind of soft. But at least after Training Day, he toughened himself.
Oh, he's in some badass movies too. Ethan Hawke's a good one. He's a good actor. All right. Enough about Val Kilmer. R.I.P. We will miss you, Val Kilmer.
Who's the new one? Pattinson. That's right.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't like skinny Batman.
I don't like British Batman.
I think Ben Affleck was underrated Batman.
He just got a bad script. He got the worst of the scripts.
Yeah, he needed to ad-lib more.
I like Ben Affleck Batman, and I like Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne. Like, I thought he played both of them pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Bale kind of set the standard.
He was the Batman to me.
But again, he got the best scripts.
That's what I'm saying. I think he got hamstrung by scripts. But no matter what, Christian Bale, there's something about his mouth and jaw structure that was perfect.
And his Batman voice.
Ideal, man. He really was the best Batman.
I don't like Robert Pattinson either.
And he got
How dare you?
Who was Catwoman with him?
Was it Halle Berry?
Was it Halle?
No, that was a different one. Who was Catwoman in that?
Oh, it was the black hair. She was a chef in another movie.
Oh, the gal from she was in that movie about fashion designers.
Yeah.
What's it? I can't think of her name.
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Oh, she's.
Yeah.
She really filled out her costume, if you know what I mean.
She did.
Oh, she is very pretty. Very pretty gal. Very pretty gal. And then I had a bang.
Oh, yeah.
I was born in the darkness. Oh, there's some good voices in those Batman movies.
As we freeform here. He's in the new series Mobland.
Who? Bane?
Yeah, Bane. What's his name?
Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy. He's pretty good.
love Tom Hardy.
You need to find this thing. It's on, I think it's on Paramount Plus. It's got Pierce Brosnan and Hardy. There's a bunch of stars in it. It's like a London crime family.
I like Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's good. He has to play a criminal, though.
Yeah, he can only be a bad guy.
He can't be. Although I'm not into the Marvel universe so much. I don't really enjoy that movie he's in where he's got that
Venom?
monster Venom. I can't.
It's kind of corny.
You do a good Venom.
There's something about it. I can't watch it.
Let's go.
That weird thing that just no. I'm not buying it. It's not the best vehicle.
I guess he wasn't a bad guy in the Mad Max movie.
No, he's a good guy.
He was the hero.
But he was an anti-hero.
Yeah, but
He can't
I
play a
don't
good
know.
guy.
I don't know if he's been a good guy in a movie.
Not one that I can think of.
I think you're right, friend. I think you're right.
He did you see the one he made when he was a moonshiner with the brothers? An underappreciated movie.
I can't think of that.
There are four brothers. He did it with the other crazy dude. Shia LaBeouf was in it.
Oh.
Before he did the art show where people were allowed to come and punch him in the face and yell at him.
I think Shia LaBeouf, I think he got some, he had some weird sex stuff happen to him. Like he got raped or something by, like he got casting couched by some dude and it messed him up real bad.
I hadn't heard that.
That's what happened to him?
Yeah, I think that's
Well,
why people think he
weird.
went crazy, but I think that's what happened.
But he did that art installation where you paid money to go scream in his face.
I would have done that.
I don't know how much I would have paid. You can only scream. You can't hit him.
Well, I think you could actually hit him, like
for the right amount.
Just line up and go take a shot at Shia LaBeouf
for the right amount.
I'm gonna hit him just because of his name.
Yeah, I don't like your
This is
name.
for LaBeouf.
LaBeouf. All right, hump hour, a hump day. Morning Huddle 94.1.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM, Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
I've been buying wholesale cars for 27 years, and every year, the way I know the market has peaked is my Bradford pear tree blooms. This morning I looked, and it is bloomed. The market is peaking. If you want to sell your car, this is the highest time of the year to do it right now. Just beat a guy today. A CarMax offered $3,000. They offered him $75 on his Corvette. I gave him $78. Why? Because the tree told me to. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm gonna give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, It's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
And Doug.
Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today, because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing, and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely starting to fill in. We've got an accident, 281 southbound. That connector to get onto 1604. We've got 2 right lanes blocked with a wreck. Stop and go from Stone Oak Parkway. So tack on at least an extra 10 minutes to your commute. 1604 westbound Bulverde Road. This wreck is off to the shoulder. Appears to be in the clearing stages. And on 410 eastbound, the on-ramp from Perrin Vital, get reports of a stall on-ramp partially blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The owners did approve changes to the kickoff. Touchbacks will now go to the 35-yard line. There will be authorizing replay assist, and overtime rules will change where both teams will always get the ball. The NFL also announced a Christmas Day triple header going up against the NBA. There'll be 2 games on Netflix, and it'll be followed by a nightcap on Amazon. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, bum, bum. Good morning, everybody.
Thanks, Vic.
You got it.
Vic's rich, man.
Just appeared. Just showed up.
I got my EBT finally.
Our vending
First
machine
to the
takes
mud.
that?
It should. If I had one, it would.
No, I sold the card for cash.
Oh, okay. Good call.
I gave blood yesterday.
Good call.
Got my plasma in. Helps everybody.
Dude, my doctor, I've been doing the testosterone stuff. My daughter's you need to go give blood.
Time to start giving blood.
Oh, yeah, your RBC is high.
Yeah, but I don't know where to go give blood. And
I can tell you, man. But they'd love to have you. Now, there's a couple of great places. I would recommend the UT Health Science Center. It goes directly there. But the San Antonio Blood Bank does great, and they're available. They're just
I don't want to have a wait. That's my thing.
I think there's one
you can
right there
schedule
on
it.
410.
Yeah, right there on 10. Walk in, walk out is great. For everybody else, go do that.
Okay. Yeah, I want to do that.
It is an interesting byproduct of the treatment.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have more red blood cells than you can handle.
Well, yeah. That's why I've
freaking out.
That's why
Yeah.
That's why Vic gets like this.
¿Quién es más fuerte?
Oh, I wasn't talking about your arm. I was talking about when you're
that.
yeah.
¿Quién es más macho?
When you wake up your wife in the middle of 2 in the morning, hey, I'm about to go to work,
Feeling
but I
mighty
need it.
macho. The lead is in the pencil.
I've got needs, woman.
I put her to sleep.
And then
It's
Vic grabs her hair and just takes her.
Best 15 seconds of her week.
Yeah, and then night.
Yeah.
That's it.
Then we're all
and I
going
need
back to
9 good hours. And a carbo load, so I don't cramp up in the middle of the night.
There's a story on The Athletic that I found really interesting. Consider that, and I think this says a lot about the state of the NFL draft this year. But there's a story on The Athletic with the headline, "Could the Browns be tanking for Arch Manning?" NFL execs debate. Now, I want you to think about the fact that the Browns have the second pick in the draft. And the question is already, could they be tanking for next year to get Arch Manning?
Well, is that a crazy question?
I mean, if you don't think that you're getting your quarterback this year, and I think what the Browns do with that pick is going to be pretty telling.
Very much.
Because the Browns,
well, they're in the prime position. I think they can be absolutely reactive, and no one can take them. I wouldn't take umbrage with it. I wouldn't have a problem.
The Browns
drafted Carter and waiting.
The Browns yesterday, by all intents and purposes, cut ties with Deshaun Watson, even though he's still going to be on the roster. They basically said, the owner said, this was a mistake. We blew it thinking that he could be our quarterback, even though he's still on the payroll for the next 2 years, fully guaranteed. Wow. So they've basically said, he's not our guy. If they don't draft a guy this year and they go into the season with Kenny Pickett as the number one option, they are telling us without saying it, we don't want to win football games.
Yes, and I don't really have a problem with it. And here's the thing that they can fall back on. Now, every team that does that is going to go, well, Sam Darnold. He could be. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be Sam Darnold. We got to give him a shot. And if he is, we're better off. And if he's not, oh, well, we're in a position to go draft Arch Manning. So it gives them some cover. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be Sam Darnold. I don't have any reason to expect, but at least it gives them a little bit of cover. And I think because it's Cleveland and because they're sitting in the second spot, you can go, are they going to be tanking? Whereas if it was another team that doesn't have a history of missteps, are they skillfully planning? Are they going to take the best defensive guy this year and get the best offensive guy next year? Are they going to be so brilliant as to prepare for this? But if it's the Browns, are they going to fall ass backwards into Abdul Carter? And, I mean, that's kind of the attitude I get with them.
But if they were tanking this year.
They're tanking, dude.
Okay, well, hear me out.
Okay.
If you knew you weren't taking a quarterback this year, then chances are good you're going to get Abdul Carter, right?
I would like to think that's their plan.
If your intent was not to win games this year also, why give Myles Garrett all that money? Why'd they fight so hard when they could have traded Myles Garrett and gotten a nice haul of picks in return? Like, teams that are tanking don't say, we want you no matter what. We don't want those picks. We want to overpay you, if anything.
Well,
that's a weird move for a team that's tanking.
I will say this. Tanking is a broad term because I don't think you want to be accused of it. But they did overpay in the one position that can make a pretty big difference. I will agree that if you're going to overpay, you did overpay the dude that can wreck a game and have you fall into a win just because he has 4 sacks.
And if you're tanking, that's not what you want.
I agree with that.
You'd much rather have picks that could eventually turn into a guy who's more on your timeline.
But there's also the financial ramifications of the Deshaun Watson and the contract that they've given. So I do think maybe money plays into this too, how it's going to be dispersed and how draft picks require this and that, where you might get shorter term deals with some. I'm just saying there might be some financial aspect to this where they can see we can maybe start treading water in 3 years. And until then, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that's the justification. But I have no doubt in my mind that there has not been a meeting about draft this year and next where Arch Manning was not brought up. I mean, we can apply teams that are tanking to Arch Manning to not just Cleveland. I think there's 4 or 5 teams that when they look at this draft, they go, well, there is Arch next year.
Yeah.
So, and if things fall apart and we're sitting here again next year, at least there'll be an Arch in front of us instead of a Shador.
And mind you, I'm a big believer in this. If you don't like the quarterbacks, because I said, I think whoever takes Cam Ward, whoever takes Shador Sanders, whoever takes Jackson Dart, if you're taking those guys in the first round this year, I really believe you're reaching. Because I don't think those are first-round type quarterbacks. They just happen to be the best ones available this year. I'm a big believer of if there's not a first-round quarterback, don't take one. Just suck for another year because you're going to suck anyway if you get that guy. It's like when the Titans took Will Levis. It's like, well, you're going to suck with Will Levis or without him.
And he was the fastest. The thing,
he's a second rounder, but still.
He was the fastest riser on the board, too. That Tennessee thought they got a steal. They were proud of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that Cleveland is also a franchise in a rather unique place because they've drafted some bad quarterbacks really high, and their fans were mad at them. So if this year, if for that cadre, if it's a quarterback, you got to keep trying until you get it. You could say, hey, man, we've tried that a couple times. It hadn't worked. So we're going to go defense and build, and I think their fan base would accept that. You know, like, okay, we get it. You don't have to swing for Baker, or you did that and we told you not to, and it didn't work out. This time, you listen to us. Go defense, go boring, and win. And I think Stefanski and that crew has a little bit of cover, I think, because everybody knows they're kind of tanking. They're looking at Pickett.
I mean, they've got a 2-time coach of the year. They've got a GM who got a re-upped. I think those guys feel like their job is safe, so they can maybe be. But
we don't have to get the quarterback. I do believe that them and the Giants are in a pretty good place. They really are. They can be reactive, and they can blame the other guy for the guy they got if they choose to, and they can take a phone call and not even sit there on draft day and benefit themselves. I don't. It would be very difficult for Cleveland to screw this up.
Yeah, again. I'm not a Cam Ward guy. If you are, you're maybe frustrated that.
Would that be the screw up? I think the screw up would be to draft one of these quarterbacks. I really do. I just can't imagine that Cam Ward would be any more successful than Baker Mayfield. Shador, the same thing.
I fully believe, and I quite frankly, I don't think it's close that Abdul Carter is the best player in this draft. If the Browns or if the Titans take Abdul Carter and I'm the Browns, I want to trade out of that pick. I'm thinking somebody is going to say, we really want Cam Ward, and I say, cool, you got him, Bubba.
Yeah, I'm gone. And they're in the best place. The Giants, the second best place.
I think so.
Because the best place to be, I learned from the Texans. You know, ideally, up until that point, I always wanted to be the master of my fate. If I'm going to go down, it's going to be because of the guy I picked, and it'll be my mistake.
Well,
in the NFL, I'd just soon, blame the other guy. I'll save my job, and this is all I could take, so we took him.
I'll tell you who else I feel like is in a pretty good place is the Patriots at 4, because the Patriots of the teams in the top 4 are the only ones who don't feel like they need to draft a quarterback.
Right.
So if there's fights at the top about quarterbacks, every time someone trades up to get a quarterback or whatever, the Patriots are sitting at 4, meaning someone better just drop to them a spot.
There's not a position group they don't need either.
Except for quarterback. Yeah.
Right. So they're going to get
defensive
the best
line,
guy.
offensive line, they're going to get the best player available, which is kind of a nice position to be in. They're the one team that doesn't have to potentially think about reaching for a quarterback.
That's why I like this year's draft, because there are so many different angles, and there's some teams that are in the perfect place at the perfect time if they just do this right.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the team that's in the worst situation now might be the team with the number 1 pick, because I think the pressure is on them to take Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And now if they don't take Cam Ward, people are going to be like, you're not trying. And they're going to probably take Cam Ward, and my guess is 3 years from now they're looking again.
And what's the GM? I forget his name. The new one with the Titans.
I can't think of it
I
either.
think he's praying for a phone call. I think he's.
Oh
just,
my God! Yes.
Please offer me 2 number 1s. I didn't have to be all this year. Just give me something so I can save myself.
Like, I'm sure that he's hoping the Giants will call.
Oh,
like,
please.
We ain't looking for a lot, man. I'll be honest with you. We're not looking for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We want to not be embarrassed. We want the 3rd pick. We want whatever your first-round pick is next year or the year after.
And we'll part as friends.
Or you know what? Even maybe we'll take your 2nd-round pick this year and next. How about that? and you move up 2 slots, you get your quarterback, and we can walk away.
And
this.
you can justify every movement after that because, hey, it's all about the future and it's all about what we, let's just tread water and cherish our star as he goes to Canton, and we'll move forward.
When we come back, I want to take a look at Lance Zierlein, my buddy from Houston. He posted his latest mock draft at NFL.com. We'll take a look where I guess we'll discuss what he thinks is going to happen with the second, third, those picks. Also, what the Cowboys are going to be looking at. We'll do that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Dr. Jacob Torres is my physician. He's my doctor of record, the general practitioner that takes care of me. Now, that's not how it began. I first met him. I was introduced he was a weight loss doctor. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't have any plans on losing any weight, but he convinced me that the best thing I could do for myself at that time was to drop a few pounds and see how things went. See, I walked up to him, a guy who had failed in the past, thought he could diet, tried, didn't work. In fact, added more weight than lost. Till a doctor told me if you don't lose some weight, things are going to start going south fast. And when I talked to Dr. Torres, he convinced me that he had worked with people just like me that had not seen the success, but just need a little bit of push. And he puts together the science of weight loss with the art of the psychology of weight loss, and combined puts together programs that work. I am living proof. If you wake up every day sick and tired, you don't know how to begin the process, much less sustain it. You were like me. Dr. Torres has plans in place, the folks that will help you, and everything required. All you've got to do is take the first step. And the first step is to call him today. The number is 210-468-1891. This website is iffhealth.com. Go there, do your diligence, but talk with Dr. Torres and let him explain to you why the old school methods are pretty darn effective if applied correctly. Now, certainly there's a place for the shots and the pills that are out there, but if you don't want to do that or you don't want to be tied to that from now on, you don't have to be. You can lose the weight and leave it off. I'm down right about 68 pounds today. Still continue to lose weight. It is a lifestyle that you adopt, and the health will follow it. If you'll do it, it works. Trust me. Call him today. Change your life. And before you know it, you're going to have that beach body, and come on by and thank me later.
A lot of people argue that the best breed of dog is a lineage called the Rescue. They're right. That's why we're asking San Antonio Sports Star listeners to help no-kill rescue agencies around San Antonio with food that these pups need. They're all good dogs. They just need a chance. The voice of the National Dog Show, John O'Hurley, will join the Sports Star guys all day Friday, April 11th for the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, the Institute for Functional Health, Big State Financial, G2Fi Shoes, Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, Ponderosa Ranch, Mr. W Fireworks, and Fifi and Fido's Pet Boutique. So lend a helping paw during the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon, Friday.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
This ad is brought to you by Care for the Injured, which is not a law firm. Past results don't guarantee future outcomes. Recovery depends on case details. Did you or a loved one take the birth control shot Depo-Provera and later develop a brain tumor? You are not alone. Thousands of women in the U.S. have been affected and deserve compensation. Depo-Provera, a widely used birth control injection, has been linked to serious brain tumors like meningiomas. If you use Depo-Provera for at least a year and were diagnosed with a brain tumor, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Our network of attorneys fight for the rights of women like you, women who were never warned about the risk of birth control shots. Our caring legal team is standing by to help you get the justice and compensation you deserve. The sooner you call, the sooner we can begin working on your case. Call 800-298-5126 now for a free confidential case review. That's 800-298-5126. Call 800-298-5126.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi. My name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Wednesday, and that means Wednesday with Wade, talking about the Brahmas' rough start.
Plus, with that NIL decision coming soon, we'll talk to an expert, Jay Paterno. Yep, Joe's son. He will join us at 3:35.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Come on, Rob.
You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby, right round, round. Oh!
What's this guy's? It was dead or alive. What was this guy's name?
Peter Burns?
Was that it? Peter Burns?
Yeah.
Not of the SEC fame. Not of San Antonio radio fame.
No.
Who, by the way, let's give some credit to Peter Burns, good friend of the show and of mine. He was the one that broke this Buzz Williams thing.
Oh,
give him some love.
We gave him up yesterday.
I know. I just want to
How
reinforce.
much love does the guy need?
He's getting enough.
Ride around, baby. Ride around. All right.
All right, we got our cardio in.
All right. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
I know.
Exhausted from all this dancing. Oh, my God. Lance Zierlein from the NFL Network, or NFL.com, I suppose, released his third 3.0 mock draft.
We only got 7 more.
And with the first pick, he says, Tennessee Titans, he says, the writing, quote, appears to be on the wall for the Titans to draft Cam Ward. Based on the buzz that's been building, this would be their third pick used on a quarterback over the past 4 drafts as they continue to search for the guy at the most important position on the field. And I get when you're the number 1 pick, there is that pressure for a team if you don't have a quarterback. There is that pressure because how often are you going to have the number 1 pick? Ideally, not all that often, right?
Right. You hope never to be back.
But in this situation, it was like, I wish we didn't.
This one we've talked about it enough. I understand if you do it. I get it. The search continues. But just because it looks good, sometimes it ain't good for you.
the idea that he's right. If you don't have a quarterback, what do you have?
The search continues,
but if you've got the wrong quarterback, that's worse than not having one.
And that's
in
why
my
you're
opinion.
here again today.
And the Titans, at least in my understanding of their existence, have never had the first pick. I guess maybe like Earl Campbell. If you want to go back to the
Texans,
the
Oilers?
Oilers, they had Earl Campbell back in the. I guess that would have been 78 or 79. Yeah, but since they've been in Tennessee, they've never had the first pick. They have had top 3 picks a couple of times that they used on quarterbacks. And if I were them, I'd look back historically and go, would it have been better for us to take Vince Young or someone else who could have helped our team in another way? Would it have been better for us to take Marcus Mariota or someone that could have helped our team in a different way?
I'm going to say.
And both those guys, by the way, were higher.
Right. Let's not get lost in the rearview mirror.
What these are.
Especially Mariota. Mariota looked like no one had a real problem with that. Now, Vince Young, you could have argued that he was, more of a college great than he was going to be a pro, but I don't find any issue with drafting him either. I mean, he was the greatest college quarterback I'd ever seen. So I'm not going to get prisoners of the moment saying that they made the mistake, but those guys were Vince wasn't cut and dry. Mariota kind of was. There wasn't a whole lot of dispute over him.
Well, the big dispute was with both those guys was Mariota going to go first or Jameis Winston going to go first?
And you make those picks. I'm not going to be held captive. Now, the Will Levis one, that's where, as a current Titan fan, you go, there's where you should be looking. That was knee-jerk. You were in a hurry. You thought you had it, and you didn't. Don't be knee-jerk in a hurry and think you got it if you don't. Go for the sure thing. Learn your lesson.
Yeah, like he said, the last 4 years, you've taken a swing at quarterback. Last year, 3 of the last 4 because they didn't last year because they thought they had Will Levis. Before that, it was Malik Willis in round 3. That obviously didn't work out. Before that, it was Cole McDonald or some scrubby dub.
And Malik was such an unknown thing. He was at a Liberty or something, some small school, unknown quantity that you knew it was going to be a long time, even if he was as good as they'd hoped, and he wasn't even as good as they hoped.
Yeah, I get the pressure to find one, but man, I just feel like you're gonna if you reach, you're gonna be right back here next year. With the second pick, he's got Cleveland Browns taking Abdul Carter. He says, I know the Browns need a quarterback, but Andrew Berry is an analytics-driven GM and seems to me much more likely to see Carter or Travis Hunter as the pick here than one of the quarterbacks beyond Ward.
Talk about total opposites.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, bigger crapshoot than Cam Ward in my mind.
And then, number 3, Travis Hunter to the Giants. And it says, it seems likely the Giants will get phone calls from teams looking to move up into this spot, but sitting tight and taking a player who could impact Brian Daboll's team on either side or both of the ball is the play.
I don't know.
I'm not going to be happy if I'm a Giant fan if they draft Travis Hunter. Now, it might turn out spectacular.
I'm with you, but I think that I think we're outliers in that most Joe NFL fan loves the idea of adding Travis Hunter. Like, they think he's the next Shohei Ohtani. I don't believe that.
I don't.
But there are a lot of people out there who do.
Prove me wrong. But of all the teams that really, the Giants, it'd be hard to screw this one up. And, drafting a great wide receiver at number 3 isn't unheard of. And if you could fall back on that. But I don't think he's a great wide receiver. I think he's really good. And we think he's a really good cornerback. Could be great.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Giants and Daboll can risk it. That just seems to be a pick that I would just welcome to trade. I'm going to go back to a place where no matter I landed, it'd be hard to be upset with.
Number 4, it says Patriots Will Campbell. He says, I'm sure the Patriots would be more than happy to trade out of this spot, but he doesn't think teams are going to be looking to trade up early on for anyone other than maybe Cam
after
Ward.
about 4, there's no need.
Jacksonville, Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. 6, the Raiders, Jalen Walker, Georgia linebacker, which I'm sure
how the Eagles going to
pisses off the Eagles. Yeah, how are they supposed to do this?
What are we doing here? We only scout Athens.
Number 7, the Jets, the offensive tackle out of Mizzou, Armand Membu. Number 8, Michael Williams, the Georgia edge rusher to the Panthers. So there's 2 gone already for him. The Saints at 9, Jihad Campbell, the linebacker from Bama. 10th, the Bears take Ashton Genty, running back from Boise.
Damn it.
Yep. And then 11th, the Niners take Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas. That gets us to number 12 with the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a lot of holes they could fill.
I want, at this position, running back is gone. Give me an interior lineman. I don't care what side of the ball.
How about a wide receiver? Matthew
Can
Golden.
I interest you in, hey, well,
wide
at least
receiver from Texas.
We know where he's from.
He runs real fast.
He's a fast guy.
He runs real fast.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's a pick of
what I always say is that's spinny wheels when you need a new carburetor.
But is it a pick because he is in fact in this guy's mind the next best player, or is it a pick because the Cowboys view him as the next best player for them?
Well, here's Lance's quote on. He says there are several positions the Cowboys can target here, including defensive tackle, but that position is deep this year. And Golden would give them an immediate starting option at wide receiver.
When I hear it put that way, if it is that deep, I would be amenable. But I also know that the Cowboys' history hasn't been stellar
at drafting defensive linemen
at deep, even first. So okay. I just feel like of the 3 or 4 absolute needs, wide receiver is certainly one of them. But it seems like of all the positions, that can be filled in free agency or with a later pick as well. That's just my thought. It just seems too shiny and too high.
Other notable picks in his first round, Colts Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. The Falcons Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan. All the way down in 18, Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, goes to Seattle. 19, your guy Shamar Stewart, edge rusher from A&M, goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Another running back off the board at 20, Omarion Hampton to the Broncos.
That's the Carolina one? Where's he from?
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah. Jahdae Barron to the Rams at 21, the Texas corner. Shedeur Sanders. And now this says projected trade. The Cleveland Browns trade up with Minnesota to get Shedeur Sanders. So that would go opposite of this tanking for
well, if they can pull that off.
If you can go from the 33rd pick in the first round, or 33rd pick into the first round, get that 5th-year option, and Minnesota, who has that pick, has only 4 picks in the draft, it would give them more picks, which maybe they'd be excited about.
I think if Cleveland can pull this off, that would be ideal. That's the dream scenario. I mean, you can justify just about any quarterback at the end of the first round.
I think so too. I think so too, because then all you're saying is, well, we just want to get that 5th year. The Houston Texans, it has taken offensive line, which I think is the right move. Donovan Jackson, Ohio State guard, interior pass protection, a huge problem for them. I don't know if there's any other names that jump out would be interesting. No. Oh, Jackson Dart, 32, projected trade with the Eagles. New Orleans Saints move up to 32 and take Jackson Dart.
Where's Shook?
Not a first rounder.
So that's so far, according to him, is bluster.
Yes, not a first rounder. So that's the latest version of this. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk to the doc, Dr. Jason Garrett, see what's going on with the hurt folks. At 9 o'clock, we got a little surprise for you. We're going to talk to another doc, Will Doctor, is going to come in. Dr. Doctor. Give me the news on who's going to win the Valero Texas Open. He'll have some thoughts on that tournament, which starts up right now. Let's give away tickets to go see Trevor Wallace, the Alpha Beta Male Tour. That is April 10th at the Aztec Theater. Let's do caller number 3. Congratulations, you're going to go see Trevor Wallace, very funny fella, the Alpha Beta Male Tour. And if you don't win, of course, you can get those tickets at livenation.com. We'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up on 35. We've got a new trouble spot northbound Schwab Road. It's a stall, right lane block. Stop and go from FM 3009. So that's going to set you back about 15 minutes. This wreck at 281 southbound, the connector to 1604. 2 right lanes still blocked. 10, 12-minute delay slow from Stone Oak Parkway. And on Loop 410 eastbound, that on-ramp from Perrin Vital, broken down vehicle, on-ramp partially blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Play ball! Missions Baseball is back, and opening weekend is here at Wolf Stadium. We're kicking things off on Friday with opening night and a Missions Tumbler mug giveaway presented by Circle K. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Then on Saturday, the action continues with the first post-game fireworks of the season presented by Bud Light. First pitch at 7:05 p.m. Wrap up the weekend with afternoon baseball on Sunday with first pitch at 1:05 p.m. Don't miss the start of another epic season. Get your tickets now at samissions.com.
Play ball!
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm gonna give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Acai Bowl lovers, April 6th is National Acai Bowl Day. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Tropic Rewards members celebrate with $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. Log into the app on April 6th to redeem your reward. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author and executive producer of the award-winning documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new film at 1-800-689-4242. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. So don't delay. Call right now, 1-800-689-4242. That's 1-800-689-4242. Again, 1-800-689-4242.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993,
Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Yes! A little after 8:30 on a hump day, you know what that means. By God, that's Dr. Jason Garrett's music, and it is joining us on the Buyers Barricade guest line from a rusty Dr. Jason Garrett. Dr. Garrett, good morning.
Nice. I feel like there should be fireworks or some pyrotechnics.
There are. Here there are.
You guys are the best hype men I've ever had.
Yeah. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good now after that introduction.
Oh, yes. Dr. Jason Garrett joins us. Doc, let's start with Kevin Durant. He's got an ankle sprain. Phoenix is really kind of in desperation mode. They're down to like, hey, we need to start winning some games or we're not going to make the play in. And they made it clear earlier this season they were still fighting for the playoffs with the money they've invested in this roster. Considering their situation and considering they're saying at least 1 week through this 3-game road trip, does it worry you that maybe this is more of a severe injury than what they're saying out loud?
I mean, if they're saying 1 week, and I saw the ankle sprain, it looked pretty bad, and he turned that thing 90 degrees. And if you ever had one of those, you can come back from it pretty quickly. But it looked pretty bad. So I'm sure there's a lot of swelling. So 1 week is actually being pretty conservative. Now, odds are he's going to get towards that end of the week, and if he still has a lot of pain and swelling, it's going to be another week, then maybe another week. If there's any tear of one of the ligaments around the ankle called the ATFL, then it's going to put that back a little further. But you can have minor tears because that ligament has a lot of accessory ligaments around it and still perform pretty well with tape and a brace. So I know they need him, although he's a bit of a culture killer, so I'm not sure how much they need him overall.
We had news last week break kind of sideways that Wemby did in fact have some sort of procedure on his thrombotic arm. What kind of procedure goes on? Is it like a chisel and some kind of net and funnel or something to just grab the chunks that break loose? Exactly. After the blood thinners have run their course, what are they doing surgically to kind of clean everything up?
So a couple options, and they're being pretty mum about this, so I'm just going to speculate. One, if the blood clot doesn't completely resolve, then they can go in there with a very small tool and go in through the vein backwards, pull the plug out, basically pull it out, and then he's good to go. Or if the clot was there because he has a cervical rib, which means that a lot of times guys that are super tall like that, one of their ribs is a little bit longer and a little bit too high, and it puts a kink in those veins in his brachial plexus. They go and remove that portion of the bone, and then that vein is no longer has the turbulence or that kink in it, and it resolves, doesn't come back. So one of those two options. The second one's a little bit more intense because you're chopping off a little bit of bone, but you're going to make a full recovery from both.
Just chopping off a little bit of bone.
Is that the reason why tall guys have a problem in their upper body with thrombosis? Is it that rib as you described?
Yeah, it's that, and also because they grow so fast, so much faster than normal people, those veins are not elastic, and so if they don't grow proportionate to the extremities growing, they can be a little bit under stress, and they can create some of those issues.
Wow. Now, you said you saw Kevin Durant's ankle injury. Did you see Freddie Freeman's? Because apparently he was in the shower when he had a quote-unquote mishap with his ankle, and obviously he had off-season ankle surgery. Now he's got some swelling. They're saying he's going to need some time. He's a 35-year-old man. They're saying he's going to need some time to rest and recover. But when you've got, and again, we can only speculate here because no one actually saw it, but when a guy's had surgery in the off season and it's still unstable enough that something in like an injury in the shower could happen, does that mean that maybe he was rushed back in some way?
Well, I didn't see the injury in the shower, fortunately. And I don't know if it's like a Tiger Woods type incident where he was caught with somebody else and his wife got mad. But ankle surgeries themselves, they're not great. They don't really give you the stability that you expect from it. So most people that I know that have had that ankle surgery to give more stability, it's pretty tough to get that stability back. And so you're always going to have some chronic dysfunction in there, which is going to lead to probably more likely re-spraining it or having other issues. So at that age, and having that type of injury, surgery, it's just not, they're always not the best outcomes.
Tis the season in the NFL or NBA, Doc, as players are being sat for the rest of the season, both for strategic and health reasons. I'm going to give you some injuries, and you tell me how long it normally takes to get back. LaMelo Ball is going through wrist and ankle injuries, and will have a minor procedure to address an ankle and wrist issues. They're dropping him now so he can be hopefully ready for training camp in October. Is that early for a wrist or an ankle injury to be ready by that time? Seems a long time to get ready.
No, he should be ready way before that. I can't imagine. A minor procedure means like 2 to 4 weeks is usually what those mean. They don't mean 6 months of recovery.
Okay, Zion has a lower backbone contusion after falling in a win over the T-Wolves on March the 19th. He's shut down for the rest of the year. Does it take that long to come back from a lower backbone contusion?
Yeah, that's code for they're not going to really tell you what's going on, and they're pretty unhappy with his performance. Anybody that has that, it's a pain. If it's truly that, it's a pain tolerance issue. You can take some anti-inflammatories. Once you get moving, you feel great. Now, if there's other stuff like muscle spasms because he has so much pain in there, that could be sidelining him. But yeah, that's one of those strategic injuries, not a real one.
Gotcha.
I like that. Not a real injury.
You're just hurt. You ain't injured.
Josh Young, the third baseman for the Rangers, seems to be hurt every single chance that he can be hurt. And now he's got neck stiffness. Neck stiffness feels like everybody's got a stiff neck. Everybody if you do anything, funny. Yeah, like they're putting him on the 10-day IL with neck stiffness. Is that something like what am I missing here? Or is this like a real injury, or is this like this is how you get sore from doing athletic activities?
Yeah, or you slept wrong, or you're lifting weights and you strain something. I mean, we all get these neck stiffnesses where you can't turn your head right or left, or it hurts like crazy to look behind you. I don't know what's going on with that, but that is such a terrible diagnosis. It tells you absolutely nothing. If he has neck stiffness as a result of a disc herniation, as a result of a sprain, then those are all different with different timelines. So I think, a lot of times teams are required to put something out there, and so they just put something super vague and let people speculate.
The old one was plantar fasciitis. He's got sore feet. He'll be back. One last, John I. Broom, we don't know a whole lot about the injury itself. We saw the fall, the elbow, and the ankle. When you see he's going to miss a couple of practices and just trying to make it back, and you see the injury that he dealt with, it might have been hyperextended at that elbow. I can't quite tell. But from your bird's eye view on the TV screen, what do you think about Jonah Broom's potential for Saturday?
Well, they think he's only going to be out for a couple of practices. That means there's nothing structurally torn or damaged. So it's going to be a sprain strain, which MRIs don't always show what's going on in there. But assume there's nothing torn, nothing fractured. It's just a matter of how quickly he's going to heal, how much pain tolerance he can handle, and if there is more of a sprain than they're letting on.
This was maybe the weirdest one for me. Max Scherzer, who left his start with a lat strain that apparently he believes is related to an ongoing thumb issue that he has. Help explain to me how a thumb issue would lead to a lat strain.
It's the song, thumb bone connected.
That's a lot of connection in between, though. Like, what could cause something like that?
Yeah, so that has to do with gripping something, and if you're able to grip it properly, then all the other muscles from your hand to your shoulder move accordingly. But if you have some injury in one of your fingers and now you have to grip differently, and so you're probably holding the ball a little tighter than you really want to, everything up there creates more tension, and somewhere along that line, wherever the weak link is, something can pull. So it's not uncommon to have a grip issue that turns into a bigger muscle issue.
That's crazy.
All right. That is Dr. Jason Garrett from Arosty. Doc, we appreciate the time, and we'll do this again next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doc.
There you go. That's Dr. Garrett. He and all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
I love baseball injuries.
Yeah. My thumb hurts, and it's led to my side hurting.
Suddenly, I can't turn sideways because I got a hangnail. Well, it's several things happen in between, but I'm not going to be able to
But that's pretty much it, is I can't play.
I can't play today.
I'm going to need the day off.
I can cash my check. Now, I can get to the bank, so you can write that, but I can't play.
We need those guaranteed contracts where if I had the sniffles or like I was hungover, I could just stay at home one day.
Not
and
feeling it today, boss. It's a little hot today.
But unlike Max Scherzer, I love working. That's the thing.
Yeah, well.
I love coming in here and talking to the people.
Plantar fasciitis has never made me miss a day. Never had a bad day.
Hey, good news. We're going to give, here in a minute, I'm going to give away some Valero Texas Open tickets. Bad news, real bad news, if you want to play in our golf tournament, you're what my grandpa would call SOL.
We warned you.
We tried to tell you, friends. Now you're like, oh, wait, I want to play in that golf tournament. I want to play in the Sports Star golf tournament. Well, Bubba, what my kids would say is F around and find out, and that's what you did. You F'd around, and now you're finding out. Sold out. Sold out, son.
Did we even lost the last one?
Yeah, it's gone, man. You can't go. Watch. Go to sasportstar.com. Try to get yourself a ticket to the golf event. You can't because it's gone. They took it off the website yesterday.
I just can't help.
The tickets are gone.
I hate to be I told you so guy.
And now you're sitting there looking like a dummy because you probably told your boys, yeah, we'll get us a foursome. And they're like, hey, what's up with that foursome? And then you go, oh, yeah, I'll get it right now. And then you're going to go to the website to get it. And they'll be like, oh, where is it? It's not on the website anymore. I don't know what's going on. Except you do know you snoozed and you losed is what happened.
Well, there's always a chance. So if you're still desperate, I do know that there's a couple teams that have not come forward with everything. So
you think there'd be black market?
Always a chance.
You think there's a black market for this?
I'm just saying, if you are desperate and you feel like you did all your efforts and accordingly, and you did everything you could, and it just didn't work out, there might be a space or two that opens. No guarantees.
Are you saying that you would sell one under the table?
No. What I'm saying is, as we sit right now, we're sold out. There is no room. But I also know that if you had. There
You're
might
saying
be a
that
cancellation. There might be somebody gets sick. There might be some room. So make sure that if you're still absolutely desperate, get a hold of Nick, our promotions guy. Maybe he can put you on a list. But that's 20%. I mean, you had
Bubba.
your chance. You had your chance.
Good luck.
I don't feel bad for you.
I don't feel bad for you either. We told you. We told you.
Yeah, weeks and weeks.
All we try to do is help, and you can lead a horse to water. But you guys don't want to drink. Not with us, anyway. You don't want to drink Fernet with us. Probably
don't want to drink Fernet, period.
Well, sucks for you guys, bud.
We got our credentials for the Valero, Texas Open.
Oh, yeah, they're right here. Right here, baby.
Look at that, with a picture and everything.
That's right.
My picture's from another era.
I know, before gray hair.
This is,
look at his.
It's kind of sad. It's depressing.
Let me see that.
AJ? Look at his.
This is me 7 years ago.
That looks like clay.
Look,
Look at what this place has done to me.
Yeah, times are hard for you.
I'm telling you, man.
Why'd you only get a 2 and a 5 on yours?
What'd you get?
I got 1, 2, 3, and 5.
What?
Locker room, practice area, player family dining, and media center. Nice.
On the front?
Yeah.
I got 2 and 5.
You suck.
What?
Oh, you can't go in those places.
You didn't get locker room. Did you really get locker room?
Yeah.
Have fun.
I got player family dining. I'm gonna go eat with
I didn't get anything.
Patrick Cantlay's wife.
Oh, the media center's got pretty good food.
Okay.
That's gonna be the highlight.
Yeah, but I ain't eating that. That's chum compared to what the players' wives are eating.
Honestly,
I'm gonna have caviar.
I think that their dining is right beside. We just dine on one side of the tent and they're on the other.
Oh,
so that's one of the great things about the PGA. They take care of their folks.
I'm pretty stoked for this. I haven't done this event before, so we'll be out there tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow and Friday.
Tomorrow and Friday. We'll be out on the golf course.
Come find us. We're out at the driving range. See, tomorrow we'll be out, and the Blitz will be there at 2. And on Friday we'll be out, but the Blitz will not be there at 2. They're going to be down on the river and prep for
the Final Four.
For the Final Four. So if you want to come by and see the Blitz, the only time to see them will be tomorrow. we'll be out there both mornings out on the driving range. Come by and see us when you get there early.
But you can't get there as early as we get there.
No, you can't.
Because it's not even open to people. We're going to have to fight security to get in.
We're going to talk about it, but one of the things that most fun on Thursday and Friday is to see who's on the driving range first. Who's the first dude that hits it before the sun?
Who cares?
Well, it's pretty interesting.
No,
I'm
saying which one of the guys really cares.
Yeah, you can really. There's some early birds that you expect, and then there's some other guys that you could tell might have had Thursday went out and that short game wasn't quite up to snuff. And you'll see those guys out on Friday morning. It's really interesting to see how they approach their practice. It's everyone's different.
Well, let's do this now. Let's give away a pair of tickets to the Valero Texas Open for Sunday. And all you got to do is be caller number 6. Caller number 6, you are going to win a pair of tickets to go see the final day of action on Sunday at the Valero Texas Open. Coming up next, my buddy Will Doctor is here. He just texted me. He's out in the parking lot. Yep. He's ready to rock and roll, baby. He said, we're ready to talk about this Valero Texas Open. He's going to tell us who's got the best chances to win it. He's going to tell us why. And it's always fascinating. He's like a Rain Man. He knows he knows all the courses. He knows what kind of grass is on them. Wow. He knows how every player plays differently on every kind of grass. It's crazy, crazy stuff. But it's always fascinating for me to figure out what he's thinking as far as who's going to do well in this thing and who's not going to do well. And I said yesterday, I think it's a little more interesting because it's real easy to just say Scotty Scheffler's going to win the tournament because Scotty Scheffler generally wins every tournament, but that's not an option this time. So you got to dig a little deeper in your bag, if you know what I'm saying.
The returning champ here.
Octay?
Never know.
I know Will likes him. So I don't know if he likes him this week, but he's given me Octay tips before and said, I like this kid. Make some money off him, and I have. All right, so we'll do that on the other side. 1 hour to go in the program. How about that? Time's flying by. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Join us for San Antonio's premier fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
When you hear that a small Blizzard treat is just 85 cents in the DQ app, you might just feel like you're dreaming. 85-cent Blizzard treats. Trust us when we say you're not. But get to DQ quickly, because this dream is only a reality for so long. Hurry and get your small Blizzard treat for just 85 cents with a $1 purchase when you sign up for DQ Rewards. For a limited time at participating locations. Terms apply.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-770-2727. 800-770-2727.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat $1 billion insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, $1 billion insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up on 35. We've got a new trouble spot northbound Schwab Road. It's a stall, right lane block. Stop and go from FM 3009. So that's going to set you back about 15 minutes. This wreck at 281 southbound, the connector to 1604. 2 right lanes still blocked, 10, 12-minute delay slow from Stone Oak Parkway. And on Loop 410 eastbound, that on-ramp from Perrin Vital, broken down vehicle, on-ramp partially blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The owners did approve changes to the kickoff. Touchbacks will now go to the 35-yard line. There will be authorizing replay assist, and overtime rules will change where both teams will always get the ball. The NFL also announced a Christmas Day triple header going up against the NBA. There'll be 2 games on Netflix, and it'll be followed by a nightcap on Amazon. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
9:01 on the Morning Huddle here in San Antonio, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We got a special guest in studio. made the drive in. He's covering the Valero Texas Open this week. This guy, I always call him he's the Rain Man of golf. He knows everything there is to know about these tournaments before they happen, which I decided one day, wow, I should start asking him who to bet on. And
well, for those that like winning,
and our relationship has taken off since then. I tell you what, a blossoming star in the golf media business. Will Doctor is our guest. Will, how you doing, bud?
Thanks, AJ. Doing well. Great to be in San Antonio. Thanks,
I got a question for you. Well, I said, what's your schedule like? You're going to hit 12 tours. What's the perception of the tour players of the Valero? I mean, when they're whispering about whether they're going to play, and they got to play in X amount, and we're right before the Masters. What's the thought of the Open? What do they think about? What do they talk about when they're coming to play? Just as a pat us on the back kind of thing.
The Oaks course at TPC San Antonio is great preparation for the Masters. The way that they set this golf course up, and you could make a similar case for Memorial Park last week in Houston. But the bottom line is, off the tee, the Oaks course at TPC San Antonio really tightens up more than last week, and that is very similar to Augusta. You got to hit a lot of fairways and position yourself well at Augusta next week. And then around the greens, it is an excellent test.
I'd heard the greens were they attempted over the years to really kind of mimic what was going on in Augusta, just try to help the pros on their way up there.
100%, Rob. You're exactly right. It's firm around the greens. There is an overseed aspect to the Oaks course, which makes the ball set up a little bit better around the greens. But as far as the way the greens are portioned off, you got to hit your spots on the greens. That is very similar to what you see at Augusta. Now, some players like to take 2 weeks off before Augusta. Some players like to get it going the week before. You've got some, Patrick Cantlay, he's 33 years old. He's only making his fifth career start in Texas this week. And I think it is because, he hasn't played that well at the Masters the last 3 years. I think Cantlay wants a little bit of a better prep rather than taking 3 weeks off before the tournament.
So Houston and San Antonio are always the two that lead up to the Masters.
Oh, not
right?
always. We've bounced the VTO's bounced around. We've been earlier in the fall, later in the fall. They've moved. They've over the years. Now, recently, very much right now.
Yeah. So what is shaking up the fields in the 2 weeks going into the Masters is that the Houston Open for about 4 years was moved to the fall, and once upon a time, about 10 years ago, the Shell Houston Open, what it was called then, had the week before the Masters. Golf Club of Houston was another course that resembled fairly well to Augusta, but Houston has moved back to 2 weeks before the Masters. Certain players like that golf course, but the Valero, at the Oaks course still, to me, reigns supreme as far as best prep for the Masters.
Okay, so before we get into the field, no Scotty, no Rory, no John Rahm, no Bryson, no Brooks, no Justin Thomas, no Hovland. A lot of these, the favorites for next weekend have decided we'll take the rest.
They're not playing.
Right.
Yeah, they're not playing. You had Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy play in Houston last week. They thought Memorial Park was a good run-up to Augusta. A lot of guys like to get to the Masters 2 weeks early and get as many practice rounds, as much prep in as possible. The week of the Masters can be a little congested as far as media, obligations, and all that. Getting an extra week in Augusta is better for some guys. I would not say the field necessarily represents how the overall PGA Tour feels about this golf course, though. I think there is a lot of Phil.
It's just a matter of timing.
Correct.
Right. All right, well, let's talk about the guys that are here. And the favorite is Ludwig Oberg, who's been a guy with a big up arrow next to his name the last couple of years. What do we like about his game, and what do we think about him as the favorite in this event?
Yeah, he won his second PGA Tour title earlier this year at Torrey Pines. That was the goal, I think, for him going into Augusta. Could he get PGA Tour win number 2 before he got to the Masters? And I do have Ludwig Oberg next week, a ticket from December, 14-1 to win. I think he finished runner-up there last year. He was very solid around the time he was playing 3 weeks ago at Torrey Pines. Since then, in 2 starts since that win, 22nd at Bay Hill, miscut at the Players, He has not hit his irons well the last 2 events. He has not chipped it around the greens particularly well his last 2 events. 12-1 to me is the wrong number for Oberg this week. I was looking for more around 24-1. I'm a pass on the top-ranked player in the field this
So
week.
you are you're already wishing you didn't have 14-1 in your pocket.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
That's a bummer.
Because he hasn't played well in two events since. In fact, around that win, he in his last 4 events, he went 42nd withdraw, win, 22nd miscut. So around that win, really
Feels like the win might be the outlier.
100%.
So unless he plays really well here, you're probably looking to find a way to fade him next week. Is the guess?
Yeah, if he can get his irons together, AJ, which is the main key for Augusta next week, that approach, that second shot. Oberg's hitting it plenty well off the tee to where if he finds some mojo with the irons, I still like him at Augusta. My thought here, Oberg has an afternoon tee time on Thursday. You could get the Texas winds come in, 35-mile-per-hour gust. He shoots even par 1 over in the first round. You're going to get a better live number than 12-1.
Interesting. Now, names that aren't there, we've talked about names that are here. Fowler and Burns and Fleetwood go off early on Thursday. Tell us what your thoughts about the first off early names that we know of.
Okay, so Sam Burns, the number 1 in that group, he has not been hitting his irons well over the last 3-4 events. Once again, second shot, major key this week and next week. I'm a pass on Burns. Ricky Fowler. He's popped up in opening rounds here over these last 3 events. I don't particularly mind Ricky to top 10 after round 1. We'd have to get the number on that. But overall, so far this year, has Ricky Fowler played better? Yes. Has he been putting 4 rounds together where he's finishing top 10 at the end of the week? No.
Well, Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, Tommy Fleetwood is interesting. Here's and once again, I don't want to be disrespectful at all towards Fleetwood. He has been a top 20 machine over his last 12 events, playing incredibly consistent. My issue with Fleetwood is he's 18-1 this week. He's opened 18-1. You can find that on Bovada. You have, Fleetwood's never won a PGA Tour event, and you have players in this field. Hideki Matsuyama at 22-1, who, not playing well this week. I'm passing on Hideki, but he's an 10-time PGA Tour winner who has a green jacket, and you're telling me has played well here in San Antonio over the years, and you're telling me that Hideki's 22-1 and Fleetwood's 18-1, and you have other ones. I mean, Keegan Bradley has won more than Tommy Fleetwood. Akshay Bhatia has won more than Keegan Bradley.
Tony Finau's pretty good ways down the list.
Tony Finau, Patrick Cantlay, Corey Connors. Now he is priced, better than Fleetwood. But bottom line here, I think Fleetwood is overpriced once again this week at 18-1 for being a guy that has never won a PGA Tour event.
The biggest name in the field this week, Jordan Spieth, 20-1, same as Matsuyama's number. How do we feel about Jordan? And I was asking you kind of before we hopped on here. What's happened to Jordan Spieth? He went from at one point feeling like he was going to be in that group with Scheffler as like the next wave of guys, to where now, in a weaker field, is not even like the top 5 favorites.
Yeah. Well, his season, while it has been better than 2023 and 2024, Jordan Spieth has not won a PGA Tour event since April of 2022 at the RBC. Last year it was his iron play that got him. His ball striking was off. Was still kind of that elite putter that we saw when he first came out in 2015. This year, while there has been some success scattered in there, 4th in Phoenix, 9th at the Cognizant, he's still been, fairly inconsistent with the ball striking, and kind of a new thing this year. He has not putted particularly well. And remember, when we first saw Spieth come out in those first 5-6 years, he was making everything. And, there's been some signs, that he's going to come back around. But overall this year, we can go down his last 5 starts. 4th in Phoenix, miscut at the Genesis, 9th in Palm Beach, and then his last 2 starts, 59th at the Players and 28th at Valspar. Mm-hmm. It's just too choppy, result-wise. It seems like every week this year, there's always a new part of his game that's a little off.
If you're a Spieth fan, maybe first round, you jump in maybe early for him. I mean, if you're going to have to lay some money because you're a fan.
What is his tee? Do you have the tee times out? I should know this, but does he go off in the morning or afternoon there on Thursday? And, Spieth, as far as record at the Valero Texas Open, the last 2 years he has not finished better than 30th, but he did finish second back in 2015.
9:15 this morning.
He's at 9:15 on Thursday morning, so he's going to miss the wind. Not a terrible first-round look.
4-1 to finish top 10?
Yeah, 4-1 to finish top 10 after round one early.
I'm going to put some money on Spieth. I just don't know which way I'm going to go here, but I'm going to lay it. So
I like that play, Rob. I'd say the only thing I would kind of warn people about, once again, his results going into this week, and I know Spieth can pop up all of a sudden, but his results going into this week do not warrant 20-1.
That's Rob. Rob's a big Longhorn fan. So
I love Spieth. He is Rob. He is the most he is top 2 in the most entertaining.
He'll have the
in
biggest
game.
gallery going on.
In my opinion, there's 2 people that move the golf needle that really can bring another 2-3 million when in contention. It is Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth.
Okay, so you said Jordan Spieth, one of the funnest guys to watch, and Rob mentioned he'll probably have the biggest gallery here. Who's the guy that maybe everybody doesn't know? If you're going out to the event this weekend and you got a chance to follow around a golfer, who's someone who will be fun to follow?
Okay, so let me give you a veteran that you should definitely watch this week, and I'm going to give you kind of a younger guy that no one knows about. The veteran is absolutely Gary Woodland, who is fresh off a tied second-place finish in Houston last week. He has been doing incredible work with Randy Smith, who's also the coach of Scotty Scheffler. Randy's instilled a bunch of confidence in him, and you have to remember, last week at the Houston Open, that tied second finish, that was Woodland's best start since having to undergo brain surgery in September of 2023, and this is the 2019 U.S. Open champion that we're talking about, and it was a scary operation, a brain lesion that he did not know if he was going to make it through. This was
what you need.
Wow,
yeah,
I might have this.
Yeah, he won the PGA Tour Courage Award last year. He is well liked by everyone on the PGA Tour. His crowds were amazing last week in Houston. Fired a Sunday 62. I've got Gary Woodland at top 10 at 4-1 this week, and his originally to start this year, we knew Woodland was going to get back in the saddle here pretty soon. I thought it was going to happen around California to start this season. It didn't. It's come now here in Texas, and I think it is perfect timing going into an event where in his last 2 starts in San Antonio, he's top 15 here. I think Gary Woodland, as far as a veteran to definitely watch, a feel-good story, a great guy Gary is. I think the veteran to watch this week is Gary Woodland.
All right, you got time to stick around for one more segment?
100%.
All right, well let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll get some more winners out of Will on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up on 35. We've got a new trouble spot northbound Schwab Road. It's a stall, right lane block. Stop and go from FM 3009. So that's going to set you back about 15 minutes. This wreck at 281 southbound, the connector to 1604. 2 right lanes still blocked. 10-12-minute delay slow from Stone Oak Parkway. And on Loop 410 eastbound, that on-ramp from Perrin Beidel, broken down vehicle, on-ramp partially blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
San Antonio, the NCAA 2025 Men's Final Four is coming April 4th through the 7th. Check out Reese's Men's Final Four Friday, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can watch open practices and the Reese's NABC All-Star Game at the Alamo Dome for free. And for the music lovers, March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, with 3 days of free concerts, featuring the biggest acts in music at Tower Park and Hemisphere. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-770-2727. 800-770-2727.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author and executive producer of the award-winning documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new film at 1-800-689-4242. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. So don't delay. Call right now, 1-800-689-4242. That's 1-800-689-4242. Again, 1-800-689-4242.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Truth be told,
Technology
right?
problems,
Technology. They talked about it, that Joe was going to send you home and you do sports from home back in the TV days.
Obviously.
I said, well, okay. Is somebody going to come over and set that up? No, we can't send anybody over there. I said, well, I guess we're screwed then.
Yeah.
Good God, not how to set that stuff up.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Morning Huddle 94.1 AJ and Rob, we got a guest in studio. We never do that. Look how fancy we are.
He set his alarm, showed up.
Yeah.
It's hard to find dudes that'll set their alarm for us.
Jose says you look like Bill Preston Esquire.
I don't know who that is, Jose.
Oh, you don't remember Bill and Ted?
No, I don't.
Oh, it was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It was a most excellent adventure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure it was a compliment.
I wish I looked like Keanu Reeves.
I know.
I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, that's right. Young Keanu, there are worse things.
Yeah, way worse things.
Could
than
be
that.
the other dude.
Could say you look like you look like Val Kilmer yesterday. Too soon.
Too
The cop
soon.
that pulled me
Stiff and
over
green.
on the way up here, he didn't think, he wasn't impressed, with either what I had to do or the looks. He was like, "Why are you speeding this morning?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm going to cover the Valero Texas Open. I've got to get to 94.1 by 9 a.m. this morning."
And he said, "What?"
And halfway
Never
through
heard
that
of him.
sentence, he was like, "Pull out your insurance. I don't care."
Where was it
Wow. Where were you?
It was right outside Madisonville.
Oh, so you're heading into town.
Yeah.
See, if it was a local cop, we'd have to
Yeah.
make a call or two.
at? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Madisonville, yeah.
All
Did you
good.
get a ticket?
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
a ticket.
yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, he could care less where I was going. He could care less.
Yeah.
But it's all right. My apologies, Officer Flores.
Oh, Eazy-E once wrote a song about this.
Yeah.
But I won't get into it.
FTP.
I won't get into it. Will Doctor, our guest here, previewing the Valero Texas Open. All right, Will. If it's not Ludwig, it's not Jordan. Who are we looking at this week? Who are the guys that you feel have a real, like? Give me a Mount Rushmore of guys you think can win the tournament this week.
Yeah, well, number one, I'm going to start with now. Let me start with the two guys in the top 8 on the favorites that I really like. Do I like their outright number? No, but I like them to place to some extent? Yes. Number one, Akshay Bhatia at even money to top 20. He is playing sensational golf. He finished third at the Players, tied third at the Players, and
and he's on the parking pass.
Yeah, he's the defending champion.
Look at him with the trophy.
Yeah. Now last year,
he looks like the guy that works at the shop that fixes your phone if it's cracked. Like,
Yesterday, they did not go well.
He's got
You
the
saw the news.
glasses on. He's like,
well, listen, I had one.
it's like he works at the Apple store, like the Genius Bar.
Yeah, no, he's a 23-year-old, fresh out. He turned pro right out of high school at 17. He is an absolute phenom. My only outright last year for this tournament was Akshay Bhatia at 70.
I remember that.
To win, which cashed. He played phenomenal, and really ever since, his game has continued to grow. And really what I'm most impressed about recently, 2 of his last 3 starts have been very solid. He finished 9th at the Mexico Open, and then in his last start at the Players, Bhatia had the 36-hole lead in a tournament that I thought, he had the potential to run away with over the weekend. The putter, I'm not going to say he putted bad over the weekend at the Players. He just burned a ton of edges, had a lot of great looks, but couldn't get any to fall. I was tempted to say that Akshay was going to go back-to-back this week. But, I listened to him in his pre-tournament presser yesterday. He's a little more focused on the Masters. He doesn't seem to care a whole lot that he's defending. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of thoughts about the golf course. What, the verbiage that he was giving the media scrum was that, he's going to be testing his game out, testing a lot of different shots in preparation for Augusta this week.
So maybe taking some chances and just trying to
100%.
experimental
That's
golf.
not where I want to put my money.
No.
Yeah. But
give me somebody who are there guys who need to win this week to be able to play in the Masters?
Well, yeah. Two of my 3 outright winners
Let's
this week are
talk
not
about those guys.
Are not currently at the Masters right now. Denny McCarthy.
There he is.
He's my first outright winner at 30-1. This is a 32-year-old who is bound to get his first PGA Tour win. He's the best putter on tour by a mile. Playing very well into this week with back-to-back top 10 finishes at Bay Hill and the Players. And remember, we were sweating that Akshay 70-1 ticket last year with, Denny McCarthy coming down the stretch shooting a Sunday 62 and sending it to a playoff where Akshay almost lost. I love Denny McCarthy this week. He is already in the Masters, but I do like him to win his first PGA Tour event this week at 30-1.
And if you're a DFS type, Danny McCarthy is coming in at 70.5 strokes for the Open. His last 4 rounds have been under 70s if you're just playing your DFS for tomorrow. So he's a hot golfer coming into a place where he can putt.
Well said there, Rob. Now, he is playing incredible. Now, that is outright number one, who is already in the Masters. Outright number two is Bud Cauley at 55
I've never
to
heard
1.
of this.
Now,
this is Air Bud, the dog.
Yeah,
That's his last name. I hope he's now doing a golf movie.
You know, he's 35 years old, and, you know, he was a superstar at Alabama, you know, coming out of college, going on to the PGA Tour. You know, had started to play some good golf about 4 or 5 years ago, got in a devastating car accident that took him off the golf course for 2 years, you know, made his life miserable, you know, could not, you know, was not hitting the ball well, has slowly gotten it back, works with Jason Bale out of Jupiter Hills in South Carolina. Here over his last two events, I mean, his iron play really popping. He finished top 5 at the Valspar in his last tournament 2 weeks ago in Tampa. This is another guy, kind of like Denny McCarthy, who I think is just way too good to go an entire PGA Tour career without a win. You know, Justin Thomas said it 2 weeks ago, you know, in the middle of Valspar, you know, Bud Cauley has plenty of game to contend on the PGA Tour. He finished 10th in San Antonio a couple years back. I think for a guy who's not yet qualified for the Masters, you know, Bud Cauley at 55 to 1 is my second outright this week.
I like that.
Okay, Bud Cauley. And who's your last one? Who's the other guy who is not in the field yet, but you think can work his way into it?
Yeah, this is a rookie. You know, I talked about Gary Woodland for San Antonio golf fans. Gary Woodland is a veteran that you need to watch this week. We have him to top 10 at 4 to 1. Isaiah Salinda is a younger guy that everyone needs to get out and watch. He puts on a clinic with the driver off the tee. Hits it a mile out there, you know, way farther than tour average, and he does it with supreme accuracy. I mean, I watched him for 36 holes last week in Houston. You know, for a PGA Tour rookie, you know, this guy is already experienced kind of the highest levels of competition on the PGA Tour, and I love that, you know, he lives out in Vegas. He plays money games during the week with Colin Morikawa and Kurt Kitayama, other really good PGA Tour players. He is not afraid of that type of competition, and he's fresh off an 18th place finish in Houston last week. It was a bunch leaderboard, so his result was much better than 18th. You know, Salinda, you know, his driver, biggest weapon in his bag, but right now, you know, irons are firing. He's rolling it well on the Bermuda greens. You know, as far as a sleeper, a younger guy that everyone needs to get out and watch this week, I not only have Isaiah Salinda, you know, to win as my third outright at 110 to 1. I also have him to top 20 at 3 to 1. And Rob, you were talking about first round guys. Salinda, early tee time on Thursday at 9:20. You know, his top 10 after round 1 is at plus 650. Personally, that's one of my two first round tickets. You know, a rookie, but 28 years old with plenty of experience. Won on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. He is someone who over the next 10 years, I think is going to become a staple on the PGA Tour.
I feel like if I were, I know a lot about this. If I were a rookie on the tour and I saw that, like, Rory's not here, Scotty Scheffler's not here, like, suddenly I feel like more emboldened. Like, I've got a chance to win this thing. Like, this is a real chance for me to make a name for myself. Am I crazy to think that? Like, when you see, like, the big dogs are kind of, they're sitting out this one, you feel like you got a chance to put my name up there.
100%. Once again, we talked about it in the first segment. You look at the favorites in this tournament, and, you know, outside of Ludwig Oberg, you know, he's a 2-time PGA Tour winner, but not playing great going into this week. A lot of these guys who you think are going to be threats are just not playing well at the moment. Hideki Matsuyama, you know, he opened at 22 to 1. He's hitting his irons terribly. You know, that's not someone you're going to have to worry a whole lot about this week. Patrick Cantlay's never played well in Texas in his, you know, few starts in this state over the years. Fleetwood's never won on the PGA Tour. You know, Corey Connors is someone who has won this tournament twice. You know, won this tournament in 2019 after Monday qualifying into the event. Won it again. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Yeah. And then won it again in 2023. And he is playing very well right now. Once again, his only 2 wins have come here. I will have Connors to top 10 at plus 175. Him and Akshay, you know, those are, you know, my 2 picks to place. Those are the guys in the favorites who I think will be up around the leaderboard this week, Connors and Bhatia. But back to your point, other than that, this is a top of the odds boards that is relatively weak compared to most weeks.
Well, what's your favorite play of the weekend? What's the best way to make some money in here, you think?
I would say, my best bet for this week is Isaiah Salinda to top 20 at 3-1. I've watched him play a lot of golf to start this year. Came in third at the Mexico Open, another course that holds a premium on driving. And then last week in Houston, once again, driving it exceptional. And what's the difference right now and why you need to get on Salinda right now is that putter started to click on the Bermuda greens at Memorial Park last week. I think he will come into this week, roll it. I love the side of the draw that Salinda is on. I like him going out first thing Thursday morning. My best bet, 28-year-old Isaiah Salinda to top 20 at 3-1 this week.
You get plus 360 at DraftKings if that's available to you. So there's some good. You always shop your numbers. I know that.
But DraftKings is dead heat. Just to clarify. So if you finish. If Salinda finishes in a tie for 20,
you just chop it up with whoever else.
You chop. Yeah, you chop.
I know that you have covered this event a few times. I know that you actually played this course in college. What kind of numbers should we expect on this course? Like what's going to be the winning score in your mind?
Yeah, we actually didn't talk about this when you talk about what makes this such a great test. Not only is it narrow off the tee, not only are the green complexes tough. You get the toughest weather test of the year on the PGA Tour, arguably at TPC San Antonio. The wind's always going in the afternoon. I'm sure we'll get a weather update here in a couple minutes, but you got a system moving in here on Saturday. Potential rain. You want to talk about one of the toughest sports to deal with as far as weather. You got 35-mile-per-hour gust. You've got rain pissing all over your caddy. Getting all your equipment wet. It is an absolute disaster out there. And I think we've picked some guys, as far as good players and strong winds. I have made sure everyone on my card can hold up in the wind.
Where most of us would be like, I'm not playing golf today.
Well, dude, the thing is, I use that as an excuse. It's a 90 in San Antonio. It's a 75 in California in great weather.
100%.
I'm going into wind and heat and cactus.
Well, that's what I say. I shoot a 110, and I say, yeah, but you know what?
It's in San Antonio.
Yeah, if I were playing anywhere else, that probably would have been like
beat off a cow.
106.
I had driving through the cattle pasture.
This is the fourth toughest golf course on the PGA Tour. So
really? That has been traditionally. Players are mad at that. This was a Greg Norman course that early on players did not like coming here because it was that hard.
No, you're exactly right. Now the overseed, and that is a kind of a it's an agronomy term, where they add, another layer.
Rob went to Texas A&M. He knows.
So 5 years ago, this place was all Bermuda. So it was very grainy around the greens, on and around the greens, and in the fairways. So,
and what does that do to the ball?
Like if you're chipping back into Bermuda, your club is going to get stuck in the ground. If you've ever chipped around the greens and you kind of stub a chip, that's because the grain is back into you. Now these courses, have overseeded, which makes the grass a little bit stronger, which lets the ball sit up perfectly on the grass as if you were hitting on turf. That has made this golf course maybe slightly easier, Rob, but with the forecast, 35-mile-per-hour gusts, maybe a little rain on Saturday, 14 under par is my winning number guess this week.
All right. That is Will Doctor. You can find his work at PGA.com. What's the organization you're working with in Houston? I know you guys.
I work for the Spirit Golf Association in Houston, Texas. We run the largest, most prestigious international amateur golf tournament every 2 years at Whispering Pines. Can't wait to have, AJ and Rob down there for a round of golf. And then, I also contribute to the PGA Tour, do the Tuesday pick show for pregame. And then do Saturday mornings on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
There you go. You can find him on X at drmedia59. Is that it? Right.
Yeah, that's it.
At drmedia59. Will Doctor has been our guest. Great insight, man. Enjoy the tournament this week. We'll see you out there on the course, bud.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Rob.
There you go. All right, I got to tell you guys before we hit the break, I'm going to tell you about Carbach. Will came in from Houston. Carbach came in from Houston. They said, you know what? When we leave Houston, what's our first market going to be? Where are we going to hammer down our brand? They said, I got an idea. San Antonio, Texas. Good choice, Carbach. Thank goodness they picked it because it is all over our city now, and I love them for it. Whether you're a Love Street man, which is their easy drinking, like the Cole Style Blonde, whether you're an IPA fella, you like a Hopadillo, that's their flagship IPA, very in-your-face hop profile. They've got a seasonal right now called Hopolectic that's a little more balanced, a little more tame. Or maybe you like the Crawford Bock, Ziegenbock type stuff. They've got that as well. Something for everybody's palate, and it is all over town. Of course, it's going to be in the H-E-Bs. Of course, it's going to be in the liquor stores. But I'm telling you now, it's in a lot more bars and restaurants than you'd expect it to be. So if you're here for the golf tournament, if you're here for the Final Four, whatever reason you're going to be out and about this weekend, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Carbach.
A lot of people argue that the best breed of dog is a lineage called the Rescue. They're right. That's why we're asking San Antonio Sports Star listeners to help no-kill rescue agencies around San Antonio with food that these pups need. They're all good dogs. They just need a chance. The voice of the National Dog Show, John O'Hurley, will join the Sports Star guys all day Friday, April 11th for the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, the Institute for Functional Health, Big State Financial, G-Defy Shoes, Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, Ponderosa Ranch, Mr. W Fireworks, and Fifi and Fido's Pet Boutique. So lend a helping paw during the 2025 Puppy Food Bank Radiothon, Friday,
Springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today, because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Guys over 40, tired of feeling tired? Testosterone therapy by Synergenics is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment covered by most major insurance. Don't wait for online meds. Walk into their clinic, see a provider, feel great today. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
The Valero Texas Open is a can't-miss event. Here's your chance to enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. You won't want to miss the next defining, unexpected, and winning moments at the Valero Texas Open. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. Buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 3rd through the 6th.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SMILE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SMILE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SMILE.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies and ladies too and hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas, Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some crushed it on the course. Join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies. So grab your spot, grab your crew, and tee off for a day of unforgettable fun. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, yeah! It's a hump day.
Hump day! We're on the downward slide now.
We're going to go up to the golf course, eat some lunch. I'm going to take a nap. And it's going to be like basically the end of the week.
We're not back
Thursday,
in studio.
Friday. Yeah,
we're not back here till Monday.
I'm not coming back here tomorrow. Oh, poor Big Balls is going to be starving.
I'll be here.
Oh, Vic will be here. Okay.
Yeah, I'll feed him in the morning.
He's going to think I abandoned him.
Well, those herd of cats.
I've got a work cat.
It's not just him. There are now several.
But I don't care about those other cats.
Well, they're living off his crumbs.
That's my dude.
Yeah, he's the OG.
That's my guy, man. He follows me around. He runs next to me like a dog.
Now Vic let him in the building this morning.
This morning he followed me all the way
followed him
to
into the
room.
office, came all the way here, and then
like
followed
when I
the
first
food
got
out.
here, yeah.
Oh,
and I got the food. He started meowing once he saw the bag and
dude, what
walked
a guy!
all the way back.
What a guy, old Big Balls is. That's a good cat. Again, my clock is ticking. Today's April 2nd. If he survives until my family gets here and we're in a house, I'm going to adopt Kitty Big Balls and
get rid of the.
No, I think we're not getting rid of my wife's cat. I can tell you that much. But I think Kitty Big Balls doesn't seem like an inside cat.
No,
he seems like a cat that'll gladly live in the backyard and. You just take him some food every day, and he'll be a happy guy, man.
That cat wants to be inside. That's his biggest
I
most
can be. I don't care. I'm not opposed to it, but he's just got to prove he can piss in a box.
I just got to tell. There's a long way between now and then.
Oh, yeah.
This is a hard life for these cats.
Dude, I took a picture of Big Balls when I first met him, which was about 3 months ago, and compared to now, it looks like he's been in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like he's got bullet holes. Like his fur's falling off his foot. It's like that dude's living a tough life, man.
His tail's all skinny.
So 2 more months is a long ass time. But if he makes it,
I give him Ludwig Olberg numbers.
he's the favorite.
He's
what do you
coming,
mean,
that's what I'm
Rob?
saying. He's got some help, but there's still a little bit of answer.
Oh man. Poor Big Balls. And he won't see me now for 4 days because I'm not coming here on the weekend either. I got to rest up, Bubba. Yeah. All right, let's do what we always do this time. Wrap up the show. We'll take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah! Well, let's start with the Valero Texas Open. We mentioned that Ludwig Oberg, 12-1 is your favorite. Then you got Corey Connors and Tommy Fleetwood at 16-1. You've got Patrick Cantlay at 18-1, but he never wins in Texas, apparently. He sucks. Jordan Spieth and Hideki Matsuyama at 20-1. Mm-hmm. Your defending champion, Akshay Bhatia, at 25-1. Although Will said he doesn't seem that interested in winning this tournament this week, so maybe be careful with that. Keegan Bradley at 25-1. I like the name Daniel Berger at 30-1, mostly because I like burgers, and 30-1 sounds pretty good. Tony Finau usually plays better than 35-1. He's not a typical 35-1 golfer, so maybe there's some value there. Gary Woodland, who Will was mentioning, is at 50-1. Rob, your favorite, Charlie Hoffman, is at 65-1.
It's a fun follow.
65-1. Other names you may recognize, Matt Kuchar, 80-1. Justin Rose, remember when he was a good golfer? He's 80-1. And I think that's all. Oh, Isaiah Salinda.
There we go. You got to talk about him. Top 25.
100-1 to win the whole thing. Now, Will didn't say he could win the whole thing, but if you're getting 3-1 plus 350 to finish
years
top
ago,
20,
Abraham Answer, local guy, came up, had himself a hell of a round. This feels a lot like that.
7-1 to top 10.
Go ahead. We'll turn the mic on.
Yeah, what do you got?
Will's still in the building.
You just you mentioned a local guy.
Yeah.
Mac Meisner is in the field this week. He is coming off a 39th place finish at the Houston Open. Once again, it was a congested Houston Open leaderboard, so that result was a lot better than 39th. He played much better that week. Meisner finished 10th at the Valero Texas Open last year. He is from right down the street from the golf course. Played this golf course a lot growing up. Result-wise, it hasn't been there. I think he's worth I put him in my DFS lineup this week. I think he's worth a risk as far as the lineup. But that is the hometown guy this week if you're looking to get out there and watch him.
3-1 top 20?
There we go. Well,
no,
maybe
top 40.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like him to make the cut and hang around over the weekend.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Fair enough. The latest in the college hoops, the line's still moving a little. Houston, a 5.5-point dog against Duke. Auburn and Florida stay in the same. Florida, a 2.5-point favorite in that one, although there are some threes starting to pop up there. If you like Auburn, you may want to wait. If you like Florida, you might want to jump in that water right now. In the Association of National Basketball, the Cavs are 11-point favorites hosting the Knicks. You know my rule of thumb, if the Knicks are playing anybody who's even remotely got a pulse, the Knicks turn into the Washington Wizards. So give me the Cavs minus 11. That sounds like an outrageous number, but I just think the Knicks stink when they play anybody remotely good.
Especially after hitting the road.
Sacramento, 13-point road favorites. My God, I don't know that Sacramento should be a 13-point road favorite over anyone.
It's the Wizards.
But that's the Wizards for you, the Washington Wizards. Not a good basketball, not a good sports team. The Charlotte Hornets are at the Pacers. Pacers laying 14.5.
Hornets waving goodbye to Ball. He's done for the year.
What a mess that team is.
Pacers shaking positioning. I just don't know if it's worth this kind of
Celtics laying 11, hosting Miami, who's been playing better of late. I don't know. Miami plus 11 might be a little value. Just hanging
Tyler
double
Hero's
digits?
been balling. I agree. I'm looking at injuries. Jaylen Brown's game time. Porzingis game time as well.
I like that. Give me the Heat then. We're getting some game times on the Celtics. Rockets laying 17.5, hosting the Utah Jazz. Did you say Utes? Mavericks -4, hosting the Hawks. Why are the Mavericks 4-point favorites over teams now? I don't know about that.
They play defense. Well, they're playing Atlanta, and we got injury issues with Atlanta.
This might be the weird play of the day. And normally I would laugh at anyone who said this, but I'm going to say it. Spurs catching 9 at Denver.
No, Denver coming off a late-nighter.
Played a double overtime game. Jokic played 52.5 minutes last night. Spurs +9. It's not a great number.
You're crazy. They don't need Jokic. We're coming off our own back-to-back ass whipping. They've lost 5 straight, and they're going into a team that lost a game they probably should have won. I have a feeling they're going to get their ass kicked tonight.
I might take my chances on those Spurs.
I love you some.
Go Spurs, go.
Coach Johnson, you got your first cover. Let's do this.
You know what? I'm gonna take another road dog here. Give me the Pistons +13 in Oklahoma City. We talked about there's going to be the Thunder are going to go through some fights at the end of this thing.
How many players are the Pistons going to have? They got everybody suspended.
Oh, that's true. Never
they?
mind. I'm not betting that. I forgot about that. Holland is suspended. Yeah, maybe not. Damn it. Pelicans are at the Clippers is the late game. Clippers -17. That's a gross number.
But no McCollum, no Zion, no hope.
And the Clippers have been playing great ball lately. In Major League Baseball, Jack Leiter goes for the Rangers. They're at the Reds. Hunter Green -150 for the Reds. Paul Skeens, good baseball thrower.
Good day to be a Pirate fan.
-115 at Tampa. Ryan Pepiot going for the Rays. Kind of want to bet the Rays. Again, I think this is just the Pirates is road favorite. The Pirates still suck. I know Paul Skeens is good. Eventually, they're going to have to go to a bullpen, and their lineup still stinks. I think give me the Rays at home as dogs. Cole Reagans and the Royals are at the Brew Crew. Freddie Peralta -120 for the Brewers. Sonny Gray and the Cardinals -160 hosting the Angels. You say Kikuchi, I say Kakachi, pitching for the Big A. Sean Burke and the Chicago White Sox +160 at home against Pablo Lopez and the Twins. Mackenzie Gore goes for the Nationals. They are -115 at Toronto. Easton Lucas. Why does every kid named Easton end up playing baseball?
Their brother's already named Jaden.
Yeah, their dad is like, I know my boy's going to play ball. I'm going to name him after this bat. I don't like that. I hate that, actually. There was a kid named Easton on one of my teams. I didn't like him. Jameson Tyone, Texas kid, Chicago Cubs.
This is the only field that Chicago goes in. This feels like home.
Yeah, they're at the A's, but guess what? I'm back in the Athletics tonight. Jeffrey Springs going for the A's. I like his game. They're -120. Give me the A's to win.
9 Ks already this year.
Yes, he dominated first game of the year. Dylan Cease, the mustache man, -185 for the Padres, going up against Ben Lively and the Guardians. Tarek Scoobly Doobly, -130 for the Tigers. They're at the Mariners. Luis Castillo going for the M's. The Astros suck so hard right now. It's really peeving me. Landon Roop, who's a made-up person, is probably going to beat Fromber today. Astros -170. They can't hit.
I know San Francisco's playing out of their mind right now. So
yesterday, it was 3-0. I said, well, Astros are cooked. They ain't scoring 4 runs. That's not going to happen. The Astros suck now. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened, but that's for a different day.
San Francisco is playing out of their mind, though.
Yeah,
Let's give them something.
They're all right. Mets -220 at the Marlins. Garrett Crochet, or Crotchet, if you want to be disgusting about it. He's rich now, by the way. -120, the Red Sox at the O's. And the Yankees, Carlos Rodon, -135, hosting the Diamondbacks. Blake Snell and the Dodgers, -245. They're not going to lose a game all year, apparently. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, out at the golf course. We'll see you then.